In interior and exterior painting and home repairs. We're your one-stop shop in the Triangle for jobs you need done, but don't want to tackle. And get this, you don't pay a penny until the job's done. Schedule today at preserveservices.com.
We don't want you on our team.
You're not the right fit for this job.
You're too slow and fast.
Don't you care how you look?
Weight bias hurts. Go to stopweightbias.com. A public service message from Obesity Action Coalition.
Hi, I'm Maria, salon owner. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic, made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Gray skies continue for it today, as well as the cool temperatures. Highs will be in the mid-70s, and there could be just a few sprinkles here or there, but no significant rain. 61 overnight tonight, and cloudy and sprinkly tomorrow morning, but some sunshine in the afternoon with highs in the low 80s.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is down 186 points to 45,524. This hour of the drive is brought to you by Bet365. When it comes to sportsbook, Bet365 has it all. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365.
He brings it down, gives to Smothers, sees Park, 10-yard line, sprints in, touchdown.
Looking at Castle's direction, looking back over the middle, back of the end zone for Anthony. Did he get a foot down? Touchdown!
Deep drop.
There we go.
Deep throw.
Touchdown.
Left side. Touchdown, Carolina. Chris Culliver brings it in.
Young in the pocket, steps up, has room to run. He's got the 40, 45, stumbling, or 35 stumbling. Ball came out at the end. Jacksonville recovered the fumble. Man, it's been a tough first half for Bryce Young.
Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan on a Wednesday. Hump Day. Happy Hump Day, everybody. I'm Tim Donnelly. Dennis Cox producing the show. Hopefully some of you are listening to this on our new 99.9 The Fan app, which was revealed yesterday. If you haven't downloaded it, do so now. And hopefully some of you are getting ready to, later this hour, text in a keyword for our Sin City Skateaway. Trying to do a lot for you. It's like a listener appreciation week here on The Drive. Maybe we're just trying to force some positive vibes because we're not getting many from the Carolina Panthers. Let's go ahead and jump into the big 3-3.
Number 1.
Is it forcing good vibes if we simply just jump straight ahead to hockey season?
Yes. Yes.
You know what?
Let's go.
You know what? September 17th, 1 week. Team physicals and testing. We have the schedule for training camp for the Carolina Hurricanes. September 17th is when it gets started for them, right? That's where you get your first team meeting, you get checked in, you sign away your waiver. I don't know what you do. But the next day is when practice starts.
On the ice 1 week from tomorrow.
That sound, I don't know if everybody else could hear it. That's like Dennis just saw something appetizing. He's rubbing his hands together like somebody, the waiter, he ordered the fajitas and he heard the sizzling coming out of the kitchen. And it's just, there it is. The smoke, everybody turns, it's ready to roll. It's a nice welcome surprise for professional sports fans in Carolina that the Canes are on their way. With good vibes, by the way. We're going to talk about later on in the show a little bit of looking ahead and why is there so much optimism around the team this year and how are they going to build off the Eastern Conference Finals. But there's also just an element of consistency with that squad, right? You see something as simple as the training camp schedule and I mean, if we're being real, right, like, oh, they're practicing on a Tuesday and not on the Wednesday. What an interesting decision. But really, it's the welcoming back into your sports fandom, your sports schedule, a team that you're pretty darn confident is going to give you a quality product. It's just nice. Shout out to Tom Dundon, the owner. Shout out to Rod Brindamore, Eric Tolsky, and the players for allowing us to have a professional sports team that we are just confident they're going to be solid at the minimum. And great at the top. Anything of note that you took away from the training camp schedule, Dennis?
On just what we already know, on September 22nd, preseason game at Lenovo.
Tampa.
Real hockey.
Real?
I mean, not real hockey. But a puck will be dropped, and there will be guys on ice skating around.
Real-ish.
Playing hockey. It's that close, folks.
That is that close. So if you want to check it out, it's been posted all over the place. I'm sure we have it on our socials and things as well. The training camp schedule for the Canes revealed. That's number one. Let's hit number two.
Number two.
Tomorrow is game day in college football already. NC State at Wake Forest. This is a really fun week for these teams. It's also a challenging week for these teams, right? You play on Saturday. You have to turn the page and roll right over to the next game because Thursday is catching up on you quick. And each team, I would say, has a little bit of an advantage on the other, and I think that's a good way to look at it, right? Wake Forest has the advantage of they played Western Carolina last week. And no disrespect to Western Carolina, but they are an FCS opponent. Wake beat them 42-10. And because of that, you probably could have some assistant coaches looking ahead for film. You probably could have a couple of the GAs really not, locked in on the Western Carolina prep, so they're extra ready to roll for a short week against State. Meanwhile, NC State played UVA, Power 5 opponent, conference opponent, even though it was a non-conference game. And it ended up being a situation that came down to the wire. So there was no looking ahead at all, even though a coach would never say you would. Like, when you're playing an FCS opponent, you can a little bit. But then the other side is State has the advantage. Today, right, it's Wednesday, it's walkthrough day. Probably not a travel day because it's so close, but it's the day before the game, and State is the much more stable, right? Because Wake Forest changed their coach, brought in a bunch of transfers, brought in a transfer quarterback. They have all these moving pieces. So a short week probably feels even more chaotic to them. Meanwhile, State is a team that's been through it before. For the most part, their main characters have all been around. Are there a few transfers? Kean Sloan? Yes, there are a couple. Don't get me wrong. But the main characters, for the most part, coaching staff and player-wise, have all been through it already. So there's an advantage for NC State. Advantages on both sides. Do we call it even and play ball? Put the ball down, kick off. It's fair. Let's roll. Maybe. The other part about this one that's interesting is just the matchup of it, right? Obviously, the thing that is most notable about Wake Forest, at least to me, is Damon Claiborne, their running back. State just gave up a bunch of running yards to UVA. They have to patch that up, or Damon Claiborne will, find the gaps in your defense and run through them. There's the challenge. We know what it is. Again, I think it's a really fascinating short week game between two teams with a history, two teams that have a whole bunch of notable finishes between them, meaning when they play, and are looking to get their season rolling.
Since Dave Dorn has gotten to State, they're 6-6 against Wake Forest. 3-3 at home, 3-3 at Wake.
That's actually pretty interesting.
Yeah, coin toss game.
There are those weird.
Theoretically.
There are those weird games like, and actually it is. I think it's like the second most played ACC game or something like that.
It's the 118th matchup. I think
they played 1 billion times. There are these weird games where it's like we don't say it because for whatever reason it's not at the top of our minds for rivalries, but it's throw the records out. It doesn't matter what else is going on. When these two teams get together, it's anybody's game. We know that for the flashy national rivalries, the announcers tell us all the time, but it doesn't happen as much for ones like this, even though it's probably true. As number 2, let's roll to number 3.
Number 3.
Panthers practicing today as they try to, speaking of they're not a short week, but I'm sure it feels like a short week. They got to pack a lot of fixing between Sunday and Sunday.
Or it feels really long.
I think it's hectic.
Yeah, probably.
I think every half-hour meeting, you've looked at like 2 plays on film, and the alarm is going off to you got to get to stretching. It's like, what? We didn't even get to the second quarter. I think everything is moving quick for him right now. But there's one piece, at least I've been following along with kind of the updates on practice as much as I can, getting ready for the show. There's one piece of news that I consider very, very, very important. Ike Ekwonu doing football drills. And that's no disrespect to Yosh Nijman, the left tackle that filled in for Ike Ekwonu. But Ike, completely out of your control absence in week 1, right? He needed a surprise appendectomy about 3.5 weeks ago and wasn't ready to get back to full NFL football in 2.5 weeks. So then now he's rolling into week 2. I believe the expectation is he's going to play. He was out of practice doing football drills today.
Yeah, took part in drills, like you said.
That is, if there is anything you can point to, right? If you want to distance yourself and be able to flush a bad week 1, that's it. Yeah, we couldn't really get the offense going in week 1, but that was before we had Ike Ekwonu, right? Oh, Bryce didn't execute as well, wasn't really stepping into his throws. He was throwing off his back foot a lot, but maybe that had to do with the fact that he had a backup blindside protector in and he was worried. Running game didn't get the volume you were looking for, but that was before Ike Ekwonu was there, who is legitimately a road grading run blocker, right? Throughout the years, and this is his 4th year as a starter with the team since being drafted highly out of NC State. Over the years he's been up and down as a pass blocker. He's pretty consistently a good run blocker. And for a team that wants to start with the run to open up everything else, I think Ike Ekwonu matters. I was looking at some of the advanced statistics for the Panthers earlier today. Do you know what stood out to me in like a bad way?
A lot of things?
Yeah, that's true too. But more specifically, their play action percentage. In the entire NFL in week 1, third lowest percentage. Obviously not fewest total. But of their pass plays, the third fewest in the league were play action. Now, maybe we're just misguided and we don't know what Dave Canales wants to do, but I always believed in the way he's presented it, and you look at previous offenses he's been a part of, it's been run first, and then build the passing game off of the run game. Even high-volume passing offenses he's been a part of have always kind of still stuck with getting your running back touches. So if you're not using play action at all, you're not really building your pass game off of the run game. Just 11% of their passes were play action. The only 2 teams that did it less were Seattle and New Orleans. And Kellen Moore is notorious for just airing it out, and he's now running New Orleans. So maybe that was before Ike Ekwonu was back.
Maybe.
Now we can build from the run. If you need to distance yourself from week 1, that's really the only bit of logic I can give you. Because everything else, it's like you just got to play better. Ike, he's just got to play. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. If you want to distance yourself from a very high mortgage rate, you need to call Miller Lending. Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. And what do you mean when I say distance yourself from a high mortgage rate? Well, sometimes you need a house. You need to move. You need to upsize, downsize. You got a new job. You need a place to live. So you go get a mortgage at whatever rates are at that moment. And that might be higher than you were hoping for. And you might be budgeting very, very tightly to make your monthly payments. And then rates drop, kind of like they have recently, right? It's the lowest it's been in months, the lowest it's been this year when it comes to mortgage rates. And you may be looking at it going, man, I really wish I could take advantage of these lower rates, but money's I don't know if I have all the costs and fees. I don't know if I have the closing costs. Well, Miller Lending simply saying, perfect. They have a no-cost loan, no closing costs, no third-party fees, no hidden surcharges, no money out of your pocket, just the lower rate. It's a refinance that can pair with, again, getting a rate higher than you wanted at some point in the past. And instead of buying down that rate at the time with thousands and thousands of dollars in cash, you get the no closing cost loan, and that allows you to refinance right now, again, with a no closing cost loan. It is flexibility. It is adaptability in a volatile market that you just can't buy. You can only get it from Miller Lending. The number to call, 919-447-3377. Miller Lending's been doing it for decades. So give them a call. Let them explain more. 919-447-3377. You can also visit them online at millerlending.com. That's millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 250-2146. When we come back tomorrow, Thursday, NC State Wake Forest. CJ Bailey opening some eyes as the quarterback for the Wolfpack. What's the next step in his development? I'll tell you next.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Sports can be unpredictable. Your elevator shouldn't be. That's why you need Metro Elevator, Raleigh's hometown team for expert commercial elevator service. Locally owned and operated, we specialize in keeping your building moving with top-tier repair, maintenance, modernization, and installation. Our highly trained technicians deliver fast, responsive service to ensure your elevators run smoothly. No surprises, just results. Trust Raleigh's own Metro Elevator to keep you moving. Learn more at metro-elevator.com/Raleigh.
From the 9, snap, Bailey, handoff, Smothers, breaks a tackle now at the 5, makes a cut up the middle, touchdown! Hollywood Smothers scores again!
Hollywood's really a playmaker for us, but then the stuff he's doing to get extra yards, making guys miss, running through contact, catching the football.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. CJ Bailey, quarterback NC State, through 2 games, opening some eyeballs. Maybe proving what a lot of people within that NC State program already knew. Because if you remember, there was some defiance from those within the NC State program when CJ Bailey was left in the bottom section of ACC quarterback rankings this offseason, or when he was not mentioned amongst the top quarterbacks in the country. There was some pushback. I'm talking from his teammates. I'm talking from those that cover the program. I'm talking from our show. Through 2 games, he's doing some things. If you look at QBR, which is a ESPN stat supposed to judge all-encompassing quarterback play, through 2 games, he has an 84.7. That puts him 12th in the country. 4th in the ACC, behind Haynes King, veteran, longtime starter, big fan of his as well. Carson Beck, who's a $3 million player, and Thomas Castellanos, who is really doing very, very well as the Florida State quarterback after transferring from Boston College. That's it. Remember, if you recall, USA Today had CJ Bailey as the 15th best quarterback in the 17-team ACC. Through 2 games, he's playing as a top 5 quarterback in the ACC and has significantly less experience than the 3 guys above him in the ACC. You'll hear this later on in the show, but I do ask, Mike Glennon, who's a former NC State quarterback, about 6'6", 6'7", which is exactly what C.J. Bailey is, that went on to play a decade in the NFL. And I asked Mike if C.J. Bailey is an NFL quarterback. You'll have to stick around to find the answer. But the crazy part about even asking that question now is at minimum, he has another 10 games this year and 12 next year before he's even draft eligible. And that's if he declares early after a true junior season. So that's a lot of games to continue to build on what he's already put out there. So the question becomes, what would you add? What's next? Right? I like using the basketball analogy here, right? The all-time greats are legendary for adding something new to their game every offseason. Right? Michael Jordan comes back, suddenly he's got a jump shot. All right, he comes back after that, suddenly he's got post-game, right? And the best do it, the LeBrons, the Kevin Durants, similarly. It's like, oh, when did you learn how to ball handle the pick and roll? Oh, you just added something every offseason. So C.J. Bailey, what are you looking to add as his career goes along? I think the answer that is most obvious and probably most correct is consistency. And that's true for every quarterback. Right, I don't know how many times I've used this example, but you can put Sam Darnold's 10 best career throws up against anyone in football history. Off platform, run into his left, laser rocket, tight window, over the outstretched arms of a defender, feathered in nicely to a wide receiver. His 10 best throws are as good as anybody, but the issue is he doesn't have the consistency, right? He doesn't make the good play every time over and over and over again between those exceptional throws. And that's why his career's been up and down. Consistency for C.J. Bailey is always part of the next step. And oh, by the way, I don't even know who are the biggest. It's actually a very strange year coming up for drafting quarterbacks. Who are the big, was it Lenore Sellers, Nussmeier down there at LSU?
Kate Klubnik.
After game one and game preseason, yeah. But it's a consistency thing that even those top prospects need to throw. Next, you can always take more ownership of the offense, right? You can always earn more trust from the coaching staff, and this is one that we won't know, right? We don't know how much Dave Doran, how much Kurt Roper trust him to get out of bad plays. But, as you start more, you start to notice. I always say this, there's like a 7 to 10 game sample size where you're probably ready to change plays at the line of scrimmage, where your coach hasn't given you the power, and that is the most harrowing part of your career. Where you're at the line of scrimmage, you know the offense well enough, you know defenses well enough, you've studied enough to go up there and say, this play call has no chance. But your coaches haven't given you the authority to change the play call. So you're like handing off to your running back with like a good luck. Boom. You're dropping back to pass going, I know none of these guys are going to be open. Check down. And then eventually your coaches trust you and you can get up there and go, easy, easy, easy. And you change it up. If I'm getting nitpicky about the way he plays, there's one thing that it's kind of a funny thing. There's one thing that I think C.J. Bailey can focus on. It's not even focusing on. It's don't be afraid to. I want him to use his legs to pick up first downs between the 20s. Because he has this happens with option off. I'm going to say this again. This happens with option offenses all the time, where quarterbacks get to make split-second decisions on whether they get the carry or the running back gets the carry. RPOs, true options, triple options, wing tees, whatever those read offenses are, where, at the 50-yard line, most decisions are give it to the running back. On the 5-yard line, where it looks like it might be a touchdown run, suddenly the quarterback is keeping all of the options, right? We learned through the last 2 weeks, C.J. Bailey can go, right? In the words of Hollywood Smothers, the baby giraffe can run a little bit. But guess what? His tuck and run percentage goes up a lot when he gets down sniffing the red zone or in the red zone. So I'm not saying like, oh, open yourself up to a bunch of hits, tuck it and run all the time. But I'm saying if there is an opportunity where he sees green grass in front of him and he can get a first down and get out of bounds, he can get a first down and get down, continue to protect himself because he's still not the heftiest individual in the world, needs to put on a little bit more weight, although he's doing a good job of it. I just think that's an aspect of his game that he's shown us he can do. And I think he can wisely use it a bit more in certain situations away from the goal line. And then there's the career arc thing. This happens with every quarterback. Every quarterback at every level, even high school, if you have really tuned in defensive coordinators that you're playing against, which is you announce your presence specifically as a passer, right? And you've heard things like Jake Dickert of Wake Forest, the head coach, saying, praising CJ Bailey for his ability to run the offense, and he says he's quarterbacking now and he's driving the offense, and he was very complimentary. You announce yourself first, and then you become top of the scouting report, right? And I actually think the most impressive thing that CJ Bailey did versus UVA was not force it, because against ECU, game one, there were completions downfield. Right, there were 40-yard completions, 50-yard completions, down the right sideline, down the middle of the field to Wesley Grimes. Teddy Hoffman was making plays. Like, there were downfield opportunities. And that is like a natural high that you can't even explain. Do you know what's one of the more fun jogs in sports? I imagine, and I never really did it, stopped playing baseball before high school, I imagine a home run trot is so much fun. Big game. Mashed a tater, hit that little jog, that's so much fun. Another one is after you throw a deep ball and it is complete, and you get to hit that little 40, 50-yard quarterback jog like you're crossing the street, just all shoulders, not really actually moving that fast as you're looking to the sideline for the play call. So much fun. Addictingly fun. Well, guess what happens after you do that for a game? Guess what happens after you show everybody you're a quarterback like that, and you can throw the deep ball and you can complete those passes? Well, they start to give you two high safeties. They start to drop guys back. They start to say you're not going to beat us deep. Safeties are getting lectured about nobody behind you, nobody behind you, nobody behind you. And what do you have to do there? Take the underneath stuff and take the underneath stuff and take the underneath stuff and check down and take the crosser and take the hitch and take the sit and take the crosser, take the check down. And you know what's not nearly as euphoric? Taking the check down and taking the check down and taking the check down. But against UVA, he did it, right? Bunch of deep balls complete against ECU. Didn't have a single 30-yard completion versus UVA, but I actually think he played better. If they're giving you the under enough stuff, take it. And you know what's the challenge? Patrick Mahomes dealt with it. Lamar Jackson dealt with it, right? All of these guys that burst onto the scene as a passer and then all of a sudden had a little dip is what happens when you go like 3 games and all you've seen are 2 high safeties, 25 yards off the ball, and all you do is just keep doing the boring stuff. Do you ever go, nah, forget it, Noah? Throw it up into double coverage just because you wanted to let it rock? Do you ever go, check, 4 verts, and just heave it? That's what you have to not do. That's what you have to not do. And it's tough for a young guy. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I have to apologize, everybody, because I am a little late with the Sin City Skateaway keyword. So you have about 33 minutes to text it in. That's plenty of time for a text. Hockey fans, get ready, because Sin City Skateaway is back all week this week, all week next week. Once an hour from noon to 6, we're giving you a keyword. You hear the keyword, you text it in before the end of that hour, and you will earn an entry into the Sin City Skateaway, where you could win the ultimate Vegas hockey trip. On Monday, September 22nd, we will choose one lucky winner, and they will win a pair of tickets to see Carolina play Vegas at T-Mobile Arena in Vegas on October 20th. They will win round-trip airfare for 2 to Vegas. They will win a 3-night stay at the Park MGM Resort and Casino in Vegas, and they will win a $400 food credit to spend while they are in Vegas. It is the ultimate Vegas hockey trip, and you will have a shot to win as long as you text in as many keywords as you possibly can. Each time you do, it's another entry. So don't miss your shot at the Ultimate Hockey Getaway. Brought to you by Park MGM Las Vegas, Atlantic Spas and Billiards, Hot Tub and Sauna Expo, Buffalo Brothers, and Newcomb & Company. Now the keyword for this hour. You have to text it in by 4 o'clock. So by 4 o'clock, you have to text FAST, F-A-S-T, FAST, to 919-860-5326. Text in FAST. I'm not saying text in quickly. I'm saying text the word FAST, F-A-S-T. That's the keyword, to 919-860-5326. Dennis, should I have pronounced the keyword today FAST?
You could have.
Spelled the same. F-A-S-T to 919-860-5326. Text in the keyword now, and you might win a free trip to Vegas. Think about that. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Another bit of information for you that you want to take note of. Mainer Service Company. Tim Donnelly here for Mainer Service Company. Do you know what happened, or do you know what happens occasionally, and it's just the ultimate reminder that you want to keep a company like Mainer Service Company's phone number nearby? You ever had something like your car air conditioner go out? And it's one of those things that when it is miserable, you can't stop thinking about it. And then as soon as it goes away, you forget, right? You walk in on a hot day, it's 95 degrees, you get in your car, you're like, oh man, my air conditioner's broken. I meant to fix that. Then you get in your car, maybe it's nighttime, it's cooled off. You completely forget, right? Some things like that happen, right? Oh yeah, right. That outlet doesn't work. Oh, right. The air conditioner isn't turning on in the middle of the night like I have it set to, whatever it is. And when it happens, you get real upset, but then you forget about it until the next time, and you get real upset again until you go to plug something into that outlet. Whatever it is, heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, don't let it linger. Don't put yourself through that. Don't keep making yourself get frustrated. Instead, call Mainer Service Company. They'll come out, great customer service, highly trained technicians. They work the entire triangle, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they'll get it fixed. And then you'll be good. Then there's no more frustration. Who wants to live a frustrated life? So give them a call, 919-361-0993, or you can visit them online, MainerServices.com, M-A-Y-N-O-R services.com. Coming up next here on The Drive, we have the Dean's List. Who made it? Find out.
At Planet Fitness, we're declaring it. This is the year of getting stronger, and you can get started now by saving when you join today. We have all the best-in-class equipment you could ever need, and you can work out your way on your time at any convenient location near you. Most open 24 hours. So let's do this. Join Planet Fitness today and save. Just $1 down, $15 a month.
Offer ends September 12th.
See Home Club for details.
As a scientist, I can tell you that Sundays are only 24 hours long. But with NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV, you get every game every Sunday all in one place. That's upwards of 30 hours of NFL in one day. How can there be 30 hours in 24 hours, you ask? I have a theory. Magic. New users get NFL Sunday Ticket for 8 payments of $34.50 per month. Sign up at NFLSundayTicket.com. Local and national games on YouTube TV. NFL Sunday Ticket for out-of-market games excludes digital-only games and commercial use. Terms and embargoes apply. Availability varies.
Hey friends, Paul Ihander from 99.9 The Fan for FanDuel. FanDuel is getting you ready for kickoff with an offer you don't want to miss. New customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, bet $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use all across the app. You can build parlays, bet player props, ride the live lines, whatever your style, FanDuel has you covered. The NFL season is finally here, and the only question remaining is, are you ready to play? Visit FanDuel.com/Paul, Paul with a capital P. Download your FanDuel app today and get started. 21 plus and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
At Howard Hanna Allen Tate Real Estate, they're not just about buying and selling homes. They strengthen local communities. To date, Howard Hanna Allen Tate has contributed more than $27 million to public education, children's health care, and dozens of other initiatives that improve the quality of life in the neighborhoods where their agents live, work, and play. Because strong communities create lasting value for everyone. If you're looking for a real estate company that believes in meaningful impact, visit howardhannatate.com and let them show you how they're built differently.
Deep drop. There we go. Deep throw. Touchdown. Left side. Touchdown, Carolina. Chris Culliver brings it in. 3 plays, 75 yards.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Don't forget the keyword for this hour, FAST. That's the keyword, F-A-S-T. Text it to 919-860-5326 by 4 o'clock for your chance at the Sin City Skateaway, the free trip to Vegas, the tickets to see Carolina-Vegas hockey, the whole kit and caboodle. For this hour, you need to text the keyword FAST into 919-860-5326 by 4 o'clock. Just a nice friendly reminder there. And also a friendly reminder that it is time for the Dean's List. Dean's List, where we throw a little extra praise, give a few extra accolades to those directly or indirectly related to the college sports world. I've got some off-the-beaten-path ones, but I promise you they're doozies. I'm going to start with one that is kind of right down the middle. Dennis, this player might have been on your Dean's List earlier this week.
Okay.
So I'm going to build off of it. Vincent Anthony Jr.
Yes.
Duke edge rusher. He was on our show a couple weeks ago. There's this director of football ops for the Shrine Bowl. His name's Eric Galko. He went to the University of Delaware, so I followed him forever, just kind of supporting hens. But as the director of football ops for the Shrine Bowl, right, which is one of the postseason all-star games, he talks to scouts a bunch. And occasionally he tweets out what he's heard. He tweeted this out earlier today. Edge Vincent Anthony Jr. was the talk of the handful of scouts I spoke with this week after his 3-sack game versus Illinois. And then there was a highlight that he posted, and it said, swipes down, rips up, and bends to keep his path and finish off the quarterback, all with 6'5", 250-pound size. People are noticing, which is good. Yeah. People are noticing.
He looked really good on Saturday.
There's 2 kinds of really good college football players. One is a really good college football player. The other is a really good future NFL player that happens to be playing in college football right now. And scouts are looking for the second kind. He might be the second kind, right? There's, like, if you look at any big schools like Record Book, it's alternating between people who you might have never heard of and guys that went on to be like first-round picks. Because you can be a really productive college football player but miss out on one of the 2 things that you need to be good in the NFL. It seems like Vincent Anthony Jr. might be leaning towards the NFL believing in him, which is a lucrative threshold to break through. More Dean's List. Wake Forest Golf. Happy birthday, Arnold Palmer.
Okay.
If he were alive today, he would have been 96 years old.
96.
But here's the talking point. Because the account that I saw say, like, hey, happy birthday, Arnold Palmer, was the Arnold Palmer Invitational, one of the premier golf tournaments in the country. PGA tournament, very, very high prize, big purse. I like the idea of naming events after all-time greats in that sport. It's a cool way to honor them. So I thought about this. What if we took, like, when the Falcons play at Bank of America every year, and we call that game like the Cam Newton Classic? Or what if we take, I don't know if they would do this because obviously they and Belichick are not cool right now. But what if there was every time the Jets played at Foxborough, they called it like the Bill Belichick Invitational, right? Because he hated the Jets and he won so much for the Patriots, so that home game. So then, like, you'd have the record holder for like the Bill Belichick Invitational, who has the most sacks during the Invitational. Just a cool way to honor him, and then you do things to honor that player on those days. Cam Newton comes back to town, does the pregame, the whole thing. Huh? Anything? Is there something there? Something? Nope. All right. Do you have a Dean's List you'd like to throw out there, Dennis?
I do, actually.
Let's
I have one. I have the Big 12 Conference. So I don't know if you saw this yesterday. Nicole Auerbach, who covers college sports for NBC, said the Big 12 released a statement saying the Big 12 officials in Saturday's Kansas-Missouri game allowed a punt to occur on a free kick in violation of Rule 2, Section 16, Article 6.
Yep.
Yeah. The Big 12 officiating crew has been removed from its next scheduled assignment on Friday, September 12th. Which I say, you know what? I love the fact that officials are being held accountable for their errors. And to me, I like that because how often do we see, with officials, no matter the sport, just completely mess things up or just have missed calls, just blatantly obvious calls, just completely miss, and there's no accountability for it. I love the fact that the Big 12 is holding their officials accountable for their errors.
I agree. For a long time, refs have been like, if you go to an NFL football game, a college football game, a big-time basketball game, whatever, they're the only people that if they do horrendous, they face no repercussions.
No, they don't have to answer questions.
Players get benched, coaches get fired, athletic directors get fired, people get their pay docked, it all happens. And then the ref could just be awful. And it's well, I'm going to go ref another game next week. And it's so I agree with that. A little bit of accountability goes a long way. Don't got to ruin their lives. Just a little slap on the wrist. Another Dean's Lister. Every AP poll voter that takes it seriously. Did you see this? I'll say her name. Haley Sawyer, SoCal News.
Okay.
So she's an AP poll voter. She gets to vote for the AP poll. After this past weekend, where USF beat Florida. Florida was, 13th in the country. They got upset by USF, who was unranked. She moved Florida up 2 spots and still didn't have USF ranked. And when asked about it, there's a video going around where she was asked, she said, I don't want to get into my processes and stuff, but part of her justification was that it really doesn't matter and that so many people vote that any one vote doesn't matter. AP, I know it's just a poll and it's just a talking point. It does impact people's jobs and players' lives. And if you go to the records right now, it says AP high that season, AP finishing poll that season. It does matter. And if you're gonna just don't vote. Just withdraw your vote if you're not gonna pay attention.
For real.
If you're on the West Coast, I was up late, I didn't want to watch the East Coast, whatever it is, just turn your vote in. No shame. Last one here, just because I'm obsessed with
Wait, so she's on the Dean's List?
No, I said AP poll voters that take it seriously.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I was all right.
The AP poll voters that can say, hey, I was sick, didn't watch games this week, not going to vote. The ones that say, I'm going to grind tape to make sure even the ones I don't cover, I know about. Those voters are on the Dean's List. And then last one, just because I'm obsessed with athleticism and seeing how far guys can push their physical abilities. South Carolina wide receiver Nick Harbor. Real Analytics, which tracks the GPS times for guys all across the country, they didn't even think this guy could be that fast. So Chris Bell for Louisville was timed at 22 miles per hour on a touchdown catch. That's flying, by the way, right? Wide receiver for Louisville, flying. Real Analytics tweets out, explosive speed. Chris Bell hit 22 miles per hour on this touchdown with a clip. Likely the top spot for fastest players of week 2. Nick Harbor, who is 247 pounds, I think, 245 plus. 22.4 miles per hour this week. If you are simultaneously one of the biggest guys on the field and the fastest guy in the country that week, yeah, you make the Dean's List. A+ for speed and athleticism. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We talked about it earlier. The Canes put out their class dismissed. Canes put out their training camp schedule. We are a week away from the players reporting for training camp. What about this year gives you optimism? What about this year is better than last year for the Carolina Hurricanes? We'll answer that question in just a minute or two, but first, Dennis Cox has something for you.
That's right. Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. Something I'm optimistic about this upcoming, winter season is that, I'm going to be lighter than what I was at the start of the summer just a few weeks ago. I've dropped 30 pounds thanks to the program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center, and that's in just under 5 weeks. I'm sorry, just under 6 weeks. So approaching 6 weeks with the program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I started at the end of July. I'm down 30 pounds already thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center and their program. And the thing that I'm excited about is that not only am I getting closer to my target goal weight, but there's also the plan of not just getting me there, but also maintaining and keeping me there long term as well. And there are no shots, no injections. You don't have to deal with any side effects or anything along those lines. We're not shooting up steroids or no HGH. We're not juicing over here. But it's your body resetting and restarting its metabolism. That way your body can just do the thing it naturally can do, which is just burn off the fat and burn off the weight that you want to lose. My clothes are fitting a lot better. I put on, pants and tighten the belt up. I'm literally down to the last belt loop hole on my belt now. And that's how small I've gotten, or much smaller I've gotten, that I'm literally have to go buy a new belt, and I'll gladly do it thanks to the weight I'm losing at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. Visit them online, RaleighWeightLossCenter.com, or give them a call, 919-897-7506. Again, the number, 919-897-7506. Visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. The consultation, it's always free at RaleighWeightLossCenter.com, 919-897-7506. Results may vary.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, dives into some Canes optimism. Next, stick around.
It's bow time. Fumbling the food on game day? Rookie move. But Bo can make your tailgate a winner, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Because the Carolina Legend has everything you're craving. We're talking crispy, juicy chicken loaded with real Southern flavor, fluffy scratch-made buttermilk biscuits, and all the fixins to feed your whole crew faster than you could say touchdown. Be the MVP this season and let Bojangles do the cooking. Order your tailgate today. It's bow time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's Tailgate Special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles Tailgate Special, and go. It's bow time.
Joining us on this episode are real Spectrum customers, Monique and Greg. We hear your family is a big fan of Spectrum.
Family of 4, we have about 18 devices last time I counted.
2 teams require a lot of speed. Everything they do is online.
There's gaming, there's streaming. Spectrum is perfect for us. I mean, it just seamlessly connects all our devices with lightning speed.
Sounds like Spectrum is really committed to keeping you connected.
It's amazing.
Are you trapped in a high-rate mortgage, watching your hard-earned money vanish every month? Stop. Right now at Loan Pronto, they are delivering the lowest mortgage rates in 3 years. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's rate reduction home loan program is a streamlined, low-cost way to slash your house payments by hundreds of dollars a month. Lock in a fixed rate as low as 4.99% APR and close in as little as 2 weeks. No appraisal needed in most cases. And here's the kicker. You can skip your next 2 house payments entirely. Don't wait. Rates this low won't last. Call Loan Pronto now for your free, no-obligation quote. Loan Pronto is amazing. Imagine lower payments, more money in your pocket, and a fresh start with a better mortgage. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com to lock in your new low rate and skip those next 2 payments. Don't let the high rates hold you back. Call 919-381-1760 or go to loanpronto.com right now. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Now Jarvis, he'll drop this one. Off the catching up rebound. He scores! Seth Jarvis on the doorstep, pounds it home.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm very excited for the Carolina Hurricane season to start. But I also, sometimes I back myself into takes, right? I'm so big on accountability on the show. Things you say, you got to own up to it. Even if you're changing your mind, you got to acknowledge you said it. So I've long compared the Canes to the Buffalo Bills, to the Lamar Jackson Baltimore Ravens, and the Buffalo Bills under Josh Allen specifically, because I really don't think the Canes, the Lamar Jackson Ravens, or the Josh Allen Buffalo Bills can prove anything in the regular season, right? They've accomplished everything you can accomplish except for getting over those final hurdles in the postseason, right? So it almost sets up the regular season for these programs, these franchises, to be the longest preamble to the only test that matters, which is, can you win the 2 or 3 big series that you need to win in the NHL, or big games that you need to win in the NFL? So I caught myself talking about the Ravens and the Bills and asking this question, right? This was around Sunday Night Football. Asking, what have they done to get better? Who'd they bring in? Right? Why do they, like, people that are picking them to win, people that are saying this is the year they get over the schneid, they get over the hurdle, like, what's different? Right? The Ravens, what did they do? Derrick Henry was there last year. Lamar was there last year. Flowers was there last year. Andrews was there last year. Most of the offensive line was there last year. Like, what they drafted the Georgia Starks, the safety, kind of early on, and all right, he's going to play. They drafted Mike Green, right? A couple of rookies. That's going to be the difference. What'd the Bills do? They brought in a Bosa, but not the one that everybody's excited about. The other one. Mostly same offense. They re-signed James Cook. So now I've asked that question enough of them, and it comes to Kane season, and I'm like, I'm really excited. And then I'm like, all right, hold on. I got to ask the same questions. I got to be fair. Got to be accountable. What did they do to get better? Why, after making the Eastern Conference Finals last year, do you think they've gotten better this year? Now, Dennis, I think you're going to hit the nuts and bolts here. I think the obvious additions are the obvious additions, but go ahead and answer with the what I think you're going to answer based on our previous conversations.
That they got a top line forward.
Talk about Ehlers.
Nikolai Ehlers, yeah. They got a top line scorer.
Explain why you're excited for him as the player that's going to join that top 6, along with the usual suspects, the Ahos, the Jarvises, the Svetches, and everybody else.
I think it's going to alleviate the pressure on Aho and Jarvis to have to be the main scorers all the time and the main point producers all the time. Now, those 3 guys, Aho, Ehlers, and Aho, and Jarvis. Yeah, all those guys.
Yeah, hey, if we can get 2 Ehlers.
Hey, that's fine. And 2 Ahos, I'd be 100% okay with that. To me, in my eyes, they might be skating on a top line, at least at the start of the season. But in regards to what he can provide on the power play, the speed that he can bring in terms of carrying the puck into the zone, it's a different skill set than what many of the current Carolina Hurricanes have. So I think there's just an added element to what he can bring to the team. I'm excited to see what he can offer, and I think the advanced numbers with his game fits in perfectly to Rob Brendamore's system, so I would not be surprised if he flourishes here in Carolina. So, yeah, you're adding a top 6 forward without losing a top 6 forward.
I agree with everything you just said. I think you could add Alexander Nikishin now that he's a better speaker of English. I think you could add JT Miller now that he's in the Kane system.
Keandre Miller.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Keandre Miller, now that he's in the Kane system,
Yep.
I think there's an excitement about what he can become with that particular group looking over him.
Yeah, younger and faster on defense.
There's a optimism. Those are tangible.
Mm-hmm.
There's also one other thing that I think is really exciting about this team. There's a belief that everybody wants to be here.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the call to action at the end of last year. But don't forget, yes, the Mikko Rantanen thing happened, and he showed up and very obviously didn't want to be here. And the body language said it all, and it seemed like everything was thrown off, and it took them a while to get back to where they were kind of culturally. But also, at this point last year, there was still Martin Necas talk. Right? Does he want? Oh, he wants to be a center. Oh, his dad says this. Oh, he agreed to the deal, but he really didn't want to. And you're gonna have to do like Martin Necas. There was that hanging over it, and that's been going on for a while. It's been a while since absolutely no drama. The people that are here chose to be here. right? Like the people that are here either had options in free agency and chose the Carolina Hurricanes like Ehlers, or chose to sign the extensions that they signed to stick around in Carolina for a very long time. There's a choice element of this team this year that allows me to be excited about how they're going to play together, right? It doesn't feel like anybody, not to say everybody, like there are guys that, are on the third line that want to be on the second line, or not to say that there's guys that, want to have the opportunity to score more or whatever, but I don't feel like anybody is making the obvious, I need to do this to show them that I can do this. I want to get out. I want someone. It's a lot of, let's do what's best for the team. Okay. Even if like Stankoven wants to be a center, he's around for the long haul, and I think he's pretty confident he'll get the chance. Right, he's not going to be out there trying to show centerman skills because he's always wanted to be a center. It's a vibe thing as much as it is a talent acquisition thing, and that's going a long way because I do think they acquired a lot of talent, as we illustrated earlier with the trades and the free agencies and even Alexander Nikishin showing up. So there's that. And then one more thing is, and Nikishin plays into this, some of the young guys just get older, right? Jackson Blake just gets older, right? Alexander Nikishin just gets older. He gets used to the NHL, right? There are young Logan Stankoven. People may not realize this because he played in the Western Conference Finals 2 years ago for Dallas, then the Eastern Conference Finals last year for Carolina. This is his first year, not a rookie. He was a rookie last year, and just because he's a bit of a grizzled veteran / rookie last year, you would expect the biggest jumps to come in your career year to year for the first 3, 4, 5 years. That's when you make your biggest stride. So I think there's 3 ways the Canes got better from last year. They added better players, right? There's just the nuts and bolts of maybe the jewel of the free agency class and one of the bigger trade acquisitions. Then there's individual player improvement. I expect Stankoven to be better. I expect Jackson Blake to be better. I expect, even though we just saw him for a quick second, Alexander Nikishin to be better and more comfortable. I expect players to continue to get better. And then there's the vibes, the buy-in, right? Everybody is, am I incorrect? I guess Nikishin might be one of the only few that aren't. Like, everybody's on a long-term contract. Everybody is invested in the long-term success of the team. Right? You're not going to get like a contract year selfishness, really, because I'm not going to be renegotiating my contract for 8 seasons. I don't need to be selfish and stat pad. Like, I'm just going to do what's best for the team because I'm locked up through 2030 something. I think it's the social aspect of the team is going to be good. And then, of course, there'll be fights in training camp, and I'll walk all of this back. But that just means they're edgy and competitive. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's how it goes, right? If they don't fight, it's good because it's good chemistry. If they do fight each other, it's good because they're edgy and they're showing sandpaper. We can spin it whatever direction we need to. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Tim Donnelly here for DraftKings Sportsbook. I know we're talking hockey, but that doesn't mean that football season is over. Heck, it's only just begun. Your season, your shot. The season, the NFL season, is rolling, and every touchdown can bring you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. From first touchdown score to anytime touchdown props, the thrill of live in-game betting. DraftKings Sportsbook is the official sports betting partner of the NFL, and every snap is loaded with opportunity. If you're looking towards tomorrow's game, we're talking Washington and Green Bay, and you're looking at those touchdown scores, guess what, everybody? There's a report. There's a report out there that Bill Krosky-Merritt is going to be the bell cow for Washington, maybe sooner rather than later. He's plus 1,200 to be the first touchdown scorer of the game. He's plus 215 to be an anytime touchdown scorer. If you're believing the hype, you might want to check that one out. Lines and odds are subject to change, though, so those odds are as they stand right now. No guarantee in the future. New customers, I have something else for you. Bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, you can score over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TIMD. That's code TIMD. No spaces. To get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first $5 bet. Plus, over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday Ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday Ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday Ticket/terms. Limited time offer. We have football at 4 coming up next here on The Drive. What'd you think about the Panthers wide receivers? How much did they miss Thielen and Coker? Stick around.
What? New scratch-offs are out? That means new chances to become a North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club member.
Yeah, in the Winners Club, I'll reinvent myself. I won't go by just plain Todd. I'll go by Toddrick. I'll get a gold jacket, play my saxophone again. I'll stop and smell the flowers, call my mom more.
Ugh, wrap it up, Todd.
It's Toddrick.
This month's scratch-offs pack over $78 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.76 to 4.98. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Here's Megan with Parkway Sleep Centers.
Are sleepless nights affecting your life? Parkway Sleep Health Centers can help. We've treated sleep disorders in the Triangle and beyond for over 20 years. We offer sleep studies, office visits, CPAP machines, supplies, and more. And our streamlined process allows us to see you sooner and usually saves hundreds of dollars.
End sleep problems. Live your best life. Experience the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit parkwaysleep.com and start your journey to better sleep today. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep. Sound health.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
Get in the hole!
That's ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Gray skies continue for it today, as well as the cool temperatures. Highs will be in the mid-70s, and there could be just a few sprinkles here or there, but no significant rain. 61 overnight tonight, and cloudy and sprinkly tomorrow morning, with some sunshine in the afternoon, with highs in the low 80s.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 220 points to 45,491.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Football at 4. I decided we'd focus in today on the Carolina Panthers wide receivers because I think they elicit emotion, right? I think when Adam Thielen was traded, some Panther fans out there feel like a friend was moving away from elementary school. When Jalen Coker got hurt, I feel like everybody's like the stock you bought for 6 cents that was now worth $400. Tanked a little bit, right? And that was one of the things that you valued, right? You thought you were on top of it because you were on the ground floor. And then there was the cutting of Hunter Renfrow and the return of Hunter Renfrow. And then everybody's turning on Hunter Renfrow. And there was Xavier Legette, and everybody likes Xavier Legette. He's got the accent. He was super famous this offseason. He was at the Kentucky Derby as a social correspondent. And then the production hasn't been up with the fame. And then there's Tetairoa McMillan, who's the top shelf, 8th overall pick. Represents all that is possible. And then there was week 1. And the pass game didn't live up to expectations. And immediately, I saw the Panther fans. Thielen would have caught that. Bryce actually isn't playing that bad. Nobody's making the plays. Why didn't Hunter Renfrow hold on to that pass as he got his head taken off? Then it became it's high emotion in the other direction. And there's a lot of what do they call it? Standing for Tetairoa McMillan. Okay, so this offense is Tetairoa McMillan and nobody else. Well, some of the production would say that, but I think there's a bigger problem here. First, let's hear from Dave Canales, the head coach of the Panthers, on his assessment of T-Mac, Tetairoa McMillan's performance in Week 1.
I thought he played fast. I thought he looked very comfortable out there one-on-one outside. We moved him around a little bit, and he showed an ability to be able to handle that. He and Bryce were on the same page timing-wise. So I was really pleased with the way he played. I'd love for him to come up with the big touchdown in the end zone, shot down the field, but he ran a beautiful route on it. And he really gave us a chance to have some explosives down the field and to just have a consistent target.
I thought Tetairoa McMillan was very good. I think it says something that the bright spot had 68 yards receiving. But I thought Tetairoa McMillan was very good. Here's the part that I want to emphasize about the Panthers wide receivers. There is a bit of chicken or the egg. Wide receiver is, more so than most, a very dependent position. Okay? An offensive lineman can have a really good day, give up no pressures, open up holes, right? You can have a good day as an offensive lineman, even if your quarterback isn't completing passes. They would just have all day to throw ducks, right? Like, you can have a good day independent of what's happening around you. A corner can give up no completions and have a low passer rating against. Meanwhile, the defense gives up a bunch of points because you can't stop the run, right? You can have a good day independent of what's going on elsewhere. Wide receivers can't have a good day if the quarterback and the offensive line are not doing their job. Or the offensive line or the quarterback are not doing their job, because the quarterback can't do it if the offensive line isn't doing their job. You can only do so much with what you're given. So I'm gonna say some statistics here, or at least one that I think illustrates how rough Week 1 was. I was playing around with the stats on one of the NFL sites. Yards per route run, which is a really fascinating way to look at how successful a wide receiver is, right? Because you would think if you're running a ton of routes and you're not getting targeted, you're not getting open. Or your coaches are putting you in a position where you're running routes and you're not even an option, which in and of itself means you are a negative out there, right? The defense doesn't have to cover you. The other would be you're getting targeted, you're not catching it. The other would be you are being targeted and your quarterback's not doing it, right? Right? It's the chicken or the egg. But of qualified receivers, there's a certain minimum. I think it's 3 targets. Of every receiver in the NFL in Week 1, Xavier Legette and Hunter Renfrow were the second and third worst wide receivers in the league in yards per route run. Second and third worst. And both were targeted on at least 20% of the routes that they ran. So it wasn't as if they're just running decoy routes. They were being targeted, and they weren't being effective. The thing that everybody needs to decide, more specifically, the thing that Dave Canales and that coaching staff need to decide is it the chicken or the egg? Are they being 2 of the 3 worst productive receivers in the NFL this year based on volume and production? Or were they doing what they could do and being held back by the passing game as a whole? Were they doing everything possible, but the ball wasn't there? And I want to throw this out there. I think it's a different answer for each of them. Xavier Legette did strike me as somebody that had opportunities to make legit plays. Obviously, the one on the sideline is what everybody's going to reference, where he should have got his feet in bounds, and for whatever reason, he stretched to get out of bounds. It was a very strange execution of a play by Xavier Legette. Meanwhile, Hunter Renfrow, on at least 2 occasions, open, beat his man, and either got lit up or was a severely underthrown pass and it was able to be broken up by the defensive back. Now, those are both routes run with no yards gained, which is going to help the stat that we're mentioning, even though I don't think he did anything to get that 0. I mean, perhaps if he went full Hercules, he could have held on to the 2 where he got lit up, but that's a tough ask, right? NFL players hit hard in the secondary. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is, one, no receiver's perfect, okay? And I don't want to say I liked it, but I did think it was like cosmic or karmically proving a point that Adam Thielen dropped a 3rd down on Monday Night Football that was right in his hands. Because every time a Panthers receiver dropped a ball, even the very difficult ones, Jatavian Sanders, very contested catch, Hunter Renfrow, the ones where he got hit pretty darn hard, the diving one by Tetairoa McMillan. I saw all of the Adam Thielen would have caught it. Thielen would have caught it. Can't help but think Thielen would have caught it. Then the next night, Adam Thielen has like on the face mask a 1st down and he drops it. And I'm just going like, see? NFL catches aren't always assumed by anybody, even veterans that have done it a long time and have noted great hands. Right? Everybody, no wide receiver is perfect. They're very dependent, so stats don't always show their own inefficiencies. But sometimes they do. It's a really complicated evaluation, which is why I do think you have to watch the tape. I do think you have to, if you're just going to look up stats, you're only going to get, I won't even say half the story. You're going to get like a 1/3 of the story. Right? Because if Liggett makes that catch and just simply puts his foot down 1 foot earlier, not even, like a couple of inches earlier, he is not amongst the worst in yards per route run. If Hunter Renfrow has a ball thrown where he's wide open, even half as far as it should be, exaggerating, he's not in this list, right? There's were you holding yourself back or was someone else holding yourself back is the question. And Tetairoa McMillan, same thing, right? 68 yards. I think that very easily could have been 100 and something.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Now, he could have made great plays, but also I think a couple of the balls could have been on there a little bit better. Or how about this one? He makes a nice catch on the left sideline. What was it? Corbett's like 7 yards downfield that gets called back. That's just an inefficient passing offense more than it is an inefficient wide receiver. So there's a lot of nuances to this. And I'll wrap it up by saying, if you were to look at many of the same style of statistics for Bryce Young, he's near the bottom of the NFL in darn near all of them. It's very difficult to be a premier producing wide receiver if your quarterback is near the bottom of darn near every statistic. It's why last year people were stretching and maneuvering and trying to figure out a way, because they would watch a Colts game and they would say, I think Josh Downs and Michael Pittman are good. But they were playing with Anthony Richardson, and it was just like, but for some reason they're not catching any of the targets, and they're not getting many yards, and they're not scoring many touchdowns. But I watch it, and it says they're pretty good. Daniel Jones shows up, and I know Downs didn't have a great game, but Pittman went bananas, and Warren went bananas. It's like, oh, look at that. You don't need to have Peyton Manning out there. You just need somebody who's not at the very, very bottom of the statistics, and guys can flourish. If Bryce Young gets, I'm not saying he needs to be a top 10 quarterback. If he plays 50% better than he played on Sunday next week, I would expect quite a bit more production from Tetairoa McMillan and at least one other receiver, whether it be Sanders as a pass-catching tight end, Renfrow. It'd be nice if it's Liggett, but I'm not holding my breath for that one. Like I do think there is some. I forget which one was chicken or the egg. I do think there's some chicken holding them back rather than some egg holding them back, right? I think there's some passing offense holding back receivers, maybe as much as receivers not being efficient enough within themselves.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what the game plans are going to look like going into Arizona. Like, how does Dave Canales evolve in terms of the play calling and everything? Because it felt like so many of the play calls that we saw were just a repeat of last season in terms of like, all right, well, let's just throw a screenplay out here. Like, I can't remember the last time a Dave Canales screenplay actually worked in terms of actually picking up a chunk play. It's like, okay, you may have got 3 or 4 yards, but I don't know. I've seen that happen and fail too many times. And I still got a question. It's like, are you actually doing something to help your receivers in this regard?
And it goes back to something I've said a million times for Dave Canales. He needs better layups for his passing offense.
Yeah.
If Xavier Legette and Hunter Renfrow and that squad is struggling so much, I even for some reason in my mind's eye I'm seeing the it's not a screen per se. Actually, maybe it was a design screen, but the quick ball to Legette on the right, and then it looked like he was running back and forth in a phone booth. Like, that's a tough way to just like see one go through the hoop. Get a play action move, right? Get a something where you can just have a dump off and have some success. It doesn't have to be a 70-yard touchdown. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I am very, very interested to see statistically what happens with that pass offense. Needs to get better. Before we move on, Dennis Cox has something he'd like to tell you.
I do. Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. Speaking of stats, speaking of statistics, if you're injured in a motorcycle accident, give 1-800-LAW Tigers a call because your case evaluation is always free. That's a real number. Your case evaluation is always free with Law Tigers, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles when it comes to Law Tigers if you're injured in a motorcycle accident. But here's another statistic for you out there, not just as a motorcycle rider, but even just a driver out there on the road. In various parts of the state of North Carolina, roughly around 1 out of every 8 drivers on the road is either underinsured or uninsured as a driver. 1 in 8. So if you're in the car right now going down the road, look around you. Someone's either uninsured or underinsured. If you're injured in a motorcycle accident, well, your insurance policy has to then kick in if the other person is underinsured or uninsured to take care of maybe medical costs if you have to go to the hospital, whatever it might be. So make sure that your insurance is up to date and you're maxed out on some of those policies in order to make sure that you are covered in those situations. But again, if you are injured in a motorcycle accident, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. Again, your case evaluation is always free and you don't pay a dime until your case settles. Also, motorcycle attorneys, Law Tigers is what they are. They're part of the motorcycle riding community. They know what your bike and your gear are worth and what you're going through after an accident. So call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle injury lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have the ladder challenge and a blind ranking coming up next. Also, I'm going to make the promise and fulfill it. The next keyword in the Sin City Skateaway immediately after we get back. First things first, the next keyword for the Sin City Skateaway for this hour. Stick around.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and as the Carolina Hurricanes shoot for their 8th consecutive playoff appearance, that's right, 8 in a row, that's not the goal, I should remind you. The goal is being, as Rod Brindamore likes to say, the last team standing. What do they need? Who will get them there? You know where you can find the answers on every episode of the Canes Corner podcast, live on YouTube after games, and wherever you get your podcast. Rate, subscribe, like, share, tell your friends.
Hi, I'm Maria, salon owner. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic, made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
Adam Gold in studio with my man Patrick Day from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. When we're spending more time outside, especially at home, we're starting to notice all of what the past months, all the wet months did to us. What can people do?
They can give us a call and we can come out and do an assessment of the house. We can walk around the house with you and take a look at your window trims, your door trims, your gutters, your fascia behind your gutters. I mean, rots everywhere on wooden houses, right? You just see it all the time, and a lot of people get overwhelmed. So what we do, I mean, we have all of our professional salesmen will come out to your house and help you walk around. There's no pressure. We're there to really help people. You know, a lot of times people just want to see what do they need to do on their house. So that's what we're here to do. We can help you come together with a package for like windows, doors, siding, roofing, whatever you need. We're here to help you. That's the bottom line.
Also, great financing packages, correct?
Tons of zero-interest financing. We can make payments that are affordable for any home improvement.
I love zero-interest financing. It's my favorite type of financing. Aluminum Company of North Carolina, aluminumcompany.com.
Lowe's knows you've got a job to do, and we help get it done. With the MyLowe's Pro Rewards program, eligible members save more with volume discounts on qualifying orders through a quote of $2,000 or more. Join for free today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Offer can't be combined with any other discount, contract, and/or special pricing. Exclusions, more terms, and restrictions apply. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Bryce, eyes downfield, throws, the ball is tipped and intercepted by Jacksonville.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I promised the next keyword in the Sin City Skateaway, and my word is bond. So get ready, everybody. Sin City Skateaway is back all week this week and all week next week. From noon to 6 every weekday, Monday through Friday. Each hour we are giving you a different keyword. You hear the keyword by listening to 99.9 The Fan. You text in the keyword to the number I'm about to give you. And each time you do that is another entry, if you do it more than once, into the Sin City Skateaway, where you can win the ultimate Vegas hockey trip. We're talking a pair of tickets to see Carolina play Vegas at T-Mobile Arena on October 20th. We're talking round-trip airfare for 2. We're talking a 3-night stay at Park MGM Resort and Casino with $400 in food credit. Wow. Felt like I had to throw it like an exclamation on there.
Like all of that?
Wow. I feel like it's like a comic book. Pow! Kaboom! Wow. This is a great prize right there. So you don't want to miss your shot at the Ultimate Hockey Getaway, brought to you by Park MGM Las Vegas, Atlantic Spas and Billiards Hot Tub and Sauna Expo, Buffalo Brothers, and Newcomb & Company. In order to not miss your shot, you better pay attention. The keyword for it, this hour. That is good until 5. Hard deadline. After 5, you text it in, it won't work. You have to text it in by 5 o'clock. Buzz. B-U-Z-Z is the keyword. Buzz. B-U-Z-Z. Text that in right now to 919-860-5326. Keyword buzz. Text it to 919-860-5326. I'm saying it slowly, very clearly, so all of you have the information you need to potentially win a trip to Vegas. Buzz, keyword. Works till 5. We'll give you another one, a new keyword, in the 5 o'clock hour. But for right now, the keyword is buzz. And this is The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. And now we get back to our regularly scheduled ladder challenge.
Oh, my God! And for the 20-foot ladder with a spear on Jeff Hardy. For the love of God, Jeff Hardy may be broken. Smack dab in half.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Ladder challenge. Dennis, me, mano-a-mano, one-on-one, monthly competition gambling. We pick a likely to win bet every day. If you win, you roll over your full stake, full winnings the next day to another. We call them likely to win bets, minus 500 to minus 1,000, somewhere in that range. You hope to make it to the end of the month. If you get it wrong, you go back to $10. If you make it to the end of the month, whoever has the most money wins. Dennis, how'd it go for you yesterday?
Went well for me yesterday. I had Liberatore, the starting pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals, against the Seattle Mariners yesterday. Just needed him to give up one unearned run or more. He gave up like 4. So my $11.11 turned into $12.94.
Solid. My full Costanza worked, and I can't explain it. Ezekiel Tovar of Colorado, I had him to go double less, under 0.5 doubles versus the Dodgers. Not only did he not hit a double, he went 0 for 4, just not even a hit of any kind.
Left no doubts for you.
Left no doubts. Turned my $15.02 into $16.52. And I'm just going to stick with the Costanza thing, right? For those of you that know Seinfeld, right? You You go full Costanza, it means you try to think of what you would do, and you do the exact opposite because you realize that what you are doing isn't working. So if I'm always picking the wrong answer, go with the right answer. Went on a little cold streak gambling, started thinking of, all right, what would I pick in this situation? Now I'll pick the opposite. So today, my pick, I have to admit, in a weird way, I felt good about betting MLB because I've now hit a bunch in a row doing this Costanza thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I'll go back. But then guess what? I got a Costanza, right? So if I feel good about betting MLB, I can't bet MLB. So I had to find something else, and thus I made it to the WNBA.
Okay.
And I am betting on the Atlanta Dream money line over the Connecticut Sun tonight. Minus 950. The Dream are favored just on the traditional spread by 13.5, at least at the time I made this bet. I was able to tease it all the way down to money line. Minus 950. It'll turn my 1652 into 1825. I have no reason as to why I'm picking this other than it is the exact opposite of what I would normally do for a ladder challenge, and it's been going well. So Dream to win the game over the Sun. That's all I got for you. Not a lot of insight, just hopefully some winners.
I'm just waiting for you to Costanza your Costanza, where you were like, oh, see, normally I do this, therefore I'm going to do that. Well, wait a second. That's the thing I have been now normally doing. Now I got to go
They
opposite.
don't know that we know they know we know they know we know. You can get lost in some sauce there, but I'm going to try to keep it George Costanza just on Front Street.
It's like Inception over here.
Yes, exactly. I'm like 10 dreams in, and I got to splash in water to wake up.
Well, I'm going to go Michael McGreevy, the starting pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals, playing against the Seattle Mariners once again. I'm going to take that bet for him to give up at least one earned run today. His ERA is like 4.7. So it's a minus 890 bet. So my $12.94 will turn into $14.39.
We'll see who's the winner at the end of the month. We are about a third of the way through September, so we'll see. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's the ladder challenge. Let's get to a blind ranking, shall we?
All right, Tim, I'm going to give you the option here for the blind ranking.
Okay.
Just pick a category. Panthers or Canes?
Ooh. We'll go Panthers. Maybe next week we do Canes because they'll be starting up training camp.
All right, so pretty simple question here for you, Tim. I'm going to give you players on the Carolina Panthers, and you are going to blind rank them based on their Week 1 performance. That is it. So the way a blind ranking works is I'm going to give Tim a name of a player, and he has to slot them 1 through 5. Tim does not know the players I'm going to give him, the order of which I'm going to give said players, and he just has to blindly rank them 1 through 5. He can't shuffle them around. He just has to blindly rank them 1 through 5. Tim, are you ready, sir?
I am, but part of me wants to say we're blindly ranking them like 95 to 100. It wasn't a good game.
Yeah, it was.
But yes, I am ready. I have my slots ready, and we can blind rank.
We'll start out with tight end Tetairoa Sanders.
Underwhelming. Did have what could have been a really exciting catch, but wasn't. Almost caught a fluke play when Bryce Young was hit and the ball almost fluttered to him for a big play. Maybe because I don't specifically remember any horrendous plays. I'll put him 3. We'll go Tetairoa Sanders right in the middle.
Okay. All right, so Tetairoa Sanders 3. All right, next one here.
I do have higher hopes for him this season, but
I think a lot of people do.
Again, just not anything specifically horrendous.
Okay, next one. Trevin Wallace, linebacker.
Tough day for the run defense.
He was also not great himself.
That's what I was getting at. The crazy part is I think he had a pretty rough game. And I think there might be a few guys that had a worse game. So, I'll go 5. Trevin Wallace 5. Obviously the run defense got kind of plowed over a few times. He's a guy that's supposed to be really good in coverage, and I think the Jacksonville offense shot themselves in the foot as much as the Panthers defense gave him fits outside of J.C. Horn. So yes, he's 5.
All right, so Tetairoa Sanders, tight end number 3. You have Trevin Wallace, linebacker, at number 5. So that leaves open 1, 2, and 4. Therefore, you must slot into 1, 2, or 4. Mike Jackson, cornerback.
He wasn't horrendous. Are you catching all the backhanded kind of optimism I'm giving?
I didn't think he played bad at all.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't make great play. I'm putting him 2. I'm putting him 2. Mike Jackson, number 2. Yeah, and it's again. I think there were some open receivers that he may have been responsible for that maybe did. Like, it's almost. I don't want to give him the DB thing, which is when the quarterback misses a wide receiver who's open, and then the DB celebrates with the throat slash and the incomplete sign, and then they put the seatbelt on because you're strapped up, and I'm like, you were beat. It just the quarterback missed him, so I don't want to give him too much credit for it, but yeah, on a day where not many played well, he was okay. So give me number 2.
All right, next one here. So you have number 1 and number 4 open. Chuba Hubbard, running back.
Number 1. Number 1. Number 1. He like yards over expected and all that. If you want to look at some of the advanced analytics, he actually was gaining more yards than was supposedly blocked for him, which might say something about the blocking because it's not like he had a great day running the ball. But also, you catch a touchdown pass. You do a few other good things. The run up the sideline after the catch was kind of nice. So I'm comfortable with Chuba Hubbard at number 1.
All right, and your final one here. So you have number 4 that is left available to you. That goes to Tetairoa McMillan.
Yeah. See, I have to assume you're going to throw at least a couple of the big names at me, which is the way I'm thinking of this. So it could have been Bryce. I think 4 would have been kind of accurate. It could have been Leggett. 4 or 5 would have been accurate. Tetairoa McMillan's better than 4. He would have been
maybe
one or two. I mean, Chuba scored. Like, you got to give him credit for that.
Yeah.
Chuba didn't do anything bad. So if Chuba was 1 and McMillan was 2, that would have pushed down Mike Jackson to Jatavian Sanders. That probably would have been the right way to do it. But outside of the McMillan one at the end, I'm kind of okay with this.
So your final blind ranking. First, you had Jatavian Sanders. You put him at 3. Second name I gave you was Trevin Wallace, the linebacker. You put him at 5. Then I gave you Mike Jackson, the corner. You slotted at number 2. Then I gave you Chuba Hubbard. You put him at number 1. And then finally on the blind ranking at number 4, Tetairoa McMillan.
I had a couple of blind rankings in a row where I felt good. This one obviously doesn't with McMillan being down there, but it's the nature of the game. I'm not going to win them all. But it does. I don't even know who I'm competing against, and I feel like I just lost. I'm like, do it again. Run it back.
Well, Panthers will do that to you this time of year right now.
It happened quick.
It happened real fast.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's blind rankings. We'll do something Canes related next week because a week from today, they'll be checking in. They'll be getting team meetings and physicals and everything started as they get ready for training camp this time next week.
Which is awesome to think about.
A week from tomorrow, they'll be practicing.
I know.
Less than a week after that, they'll be playing preseason games. 6 months from now, no, I'm kidding. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, season's over. Look at that. 8 months from now, we'll be getting ready for the next one.
I don't know. 9 months from now, we'll be hoisting the cup.
There we go. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Let's jump into Hit It and Quit It. Line up some stories, talk about them quickly, move on to the next. I'll get us started. On 3, Tracks Recruits. Rivals is involved with On 3 now. For those of you that grew up tracking Rivals, it's a big deal. But On 3, they've put together a series where they're going around and finding the highest paid players based on their sources at each position in college football. We've talked about how Darian Mensah was the highest paid quarterback that they could find. The quarterback at Duke, a little over $4 million a year. Or $4 million a year with the possibility of incentives to go further. They just put out their list of wide receivers. Pete Nakos does much of the reporting. They put out their list of highest paid wide receivers. Few things to note. Former NC State wide receiver Casey Concepcion, they have as the 4th highest paid wide receiver in the country. Making $1 million with Texas A&M. By the way, he is playing well. He had a really big first game, did solid in the second game for Texas A&M. Returned, I believe, a punt for a touchdown as well. This is what you're up against, everybody. If you don't keep your best players happy, and you are a program that has some legit dudes, if you don't keep them happy, they can leave. Every year's a one-year contract, and they'll get paid. Casey Concepcion didn't even have a great season his sophomore year. He basically got $1 million a year, at least this year, $1 million from Texas A&M off of a promising freshman year and a down sophomore year.
Well, at least their head coach Mike Elko was at Duke during his freshman year, so you probably got to see it a lot.
Well, up close and personal.
Yeah.
I don't want to scheme against that guy. Let's give him $1 million to play for us. That's a lot of money. And it gets bigger than that the higher up you go. Carnell Tate, Ohio State, popular draft candidate for the future, 1.5. Ryan Williams, Alabama, who made really an entire highlight reel out of one catch last year. The spin up the sideline for Alabama. 1.8 is what On3 sources report. Jeremiah Smith, who, to be clear, is seen by everybody that knows prospect and talent evaluation as head and shoulders above any other wide receiver in the country. According to On3 sources, $4 to $5 million this season.
What?
For a wide receiver for Ohio State. $4 to $5 million. Somewhere between $4 and $5 million. And yes, if you remember what I said at the beginning of this conversation, On3, when they found their highest paid quarterbacks, the highest paid quarterback was making $4 million with incentives to possibly be worth more. Jeremiah Smith might be the highest paid player in the country. Now, it helps that as a true freshman, he was compared to Julio Jones almost immediately. That will drive up your price. But think about it, okay? Again, what you're up against, not just in retaining your talent, which is, I think, the lesson learned with KC Concepcion, right? If you don't keep your guys happy, if they go somewhere else, they can make a boatload of money, and they're not going to miss you. But also, imagine you're trying to win a national championship. Did you notice something about Carnell Tate, the third highest paid wide receiver, and Jeremiah Smith, the highest paid wide receiver? They're teammates. They both play at Ohio State. Ohio State has essentially between 6 and 7... between on-air math. I don't know why I do that to myself. Between a little below 6 and a little below $7 million invested in 2 wide receivers. Goodness gracious. Now you're out there, like, imagine you're like, who's Ohio State? Oh, they played Grambling this past weekend. But say you're in the Big Ten, right? Say you're in the Big Ten and you're just looking at your conference schedule. You're, I don't know, Illinois. You're Wisconsin, Minnesota, Purdue. Just looking at your schedule. You have to guard $6 million worth of wide receivers one week. In case you're wondering, Tetairoa McMillan was the 8th overall pick in the draft. He's making $5 million this year. Wide receiver. Jeremiah Smith might be making essentially the same amount as Tetairoa McMillan this year. Somebody at Rutgers is going to take like a math test on a Friday and then have to go guard $6 million of wide receivers on a Saturday. Let's quit that. Let's hit this.
It means more.
What do we got?
Speaking of money.
There it is.
Sorry, thing froze up over here for me. Speaking of money, real quick NHL note here. Imagine, Tim, having the gumption to turn down the highest paid contract possibly in all of NHL history. Kirill Kaprizov, who is, up until he got hurt last year, what people looked at as an MVP candidate for the Minnesota Wild, reportedly turned down an 8-year contract extension worth $16 million a year.
Wow.
That's more than McDavid currently making. Granted, McDavid could sign a contract extension himself. That's more than what Leon Draisaitl, Nathan McKinnon, more than what Mitch Marner got, more than what Mikko Rantanen got. reportedly turned down 8 years at $16 million a year. Tim, what's it going to take to get him in a Canes uniform? That's what I want to know.
Sounds like about $20 million a
It
year.
might actually be $20 million for real. But just to think about, you're talking about the economics of sports. Like, these are guaranteed contracts,
True.
again, unless there's buyouts and things along those lines. But still, it costs a lot of money to do that. But just to have the gumption to turn down the highest value contract, not only in terms of average annual value, but also in just total contract value, and say, no.
It's not close either. $16 million per is $2 million clear of everybody per year.
Yeah.
Draisaitl with the highest per year value in the NHL with 14.
Yes.
That's a big contract. Now, let me ask you this.
What's that?
Is he turning it down on some that's not enough money move? Or is he turning it down on some I don't want to be locked to Minnesota for the next decade, essentially?
I honestly think he's waiting to see what Connor McDavid does. Because the NHL rules with the new collective bargaining agreement after this upcoming season, or at least with the new CBA that starts in 2026, if you sign as a free agent with another team, the maximum contract length is 6 years. But if you re-sign with your own team, it's 7. The NHL actually stated when that rule actually takes effect is not until actually September of 2026. So he could still go into free agency next year and sign a 7-year contract, or still sign an 8-year extension with Minnesota. So he has time to work it out. But I think this is someone who's really banking on himself because, like I said, he was playing MVP level up until he got hurt last season.
28 years old. This is the big bite at the apple. This is the deal. That's a lot. I didn't know he turned it down. That's a lot of money. But I will say this. I think, and correct. And no, actually, I'm gonna stand by this.
Okay.
I think teams are getting much more confident in modern medicine, to where normally turning down something like that, the major concern is, what if you get hurt? What if you have a gruesome? What if, you pop your knee? Whatever it is, right? But more and more, I'm seeing athletes kind of get hurt and still get paid, right? I think the best example might be Dak Prescott, who was like, in a straight stare down with the Cowboys, and then his ankle was like facing the wrong way, and they were just like, "Yeah, we'll give you all the money." I think programs are just more confident that you'll get back to the version of yourself you were previously, so it's maybe a little bit less of a risk to bet on yourself and try to go wait as long as you can, because there's no doubt there is benefit to being, if there's like a group of great players that are all kind of looking for a contract at the same time, there is benefit to being the last one to sign, right? You let them all reset the market. You're the last resetter of the market. You get paid the most. And you might be afraid of injury, but it just seems like that's, I don't know, less back, you don't have to go back that far where there were certain injuries that were just like, oh, your contract is gone. You popped an Achilles, there you go. You're bad luck. But now that, I don't know, you don't see it as much. Guys still get paid after.
He actually did have surgery on a lower body injury back in January, so he missed about 28 games or something like that. So you miss a big chunk of time. But when he's right,
and he's still getting offered $16 million a year.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. Let us all be so valuable to someone that we can turn down $16 million a year and not have that ruin our lives. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I wish we all had that ability. I don't have $16 million I can turn down.
Neither do I.
So for that reason, many of us have to be cost efficient with our spending. How about this one? Mainer Service Company. Tim Donnelly here for Mainer Service Company. There's 2 reactions to when something goes wrong with your house, right? You look up, you see water dripping from your ceiling, or you try to flush the toilet and it's not working, or the electricity goes out and it's not storming outside, heating, cooling, right? When something bad happens, your first reaction is, oh no, I have to get it fixed, right? I have to stop this water. I have to get this fixed. The second reaction is, how much is this going to cost me? Life of a homeowner. How much is this going to cost me? Well, Mainer Service Company, I can't, obviously you got to go every situation by situation on how much it'll cost, but I can tell you this, they'll do right by you in finding the most cost efficient, the most speedy way to get to the problem, diagnose the problem, and fix it. Get you back up and running as a household, get your heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical back where it should be and operating at peak efficiency. And they'll do so without running you up with fees or without making you, I always like it when they explain it to me in plain English, right? Rather than, well, you got the giz nozzle and you got the wicket wacket and you got to, we're going to have to order a part. You need the schmoozy do and that's going to be expensive. It's going to be about 2 weeks. I'm like, all right, just tell me what all of that means in regular, normal people speak, because I skipped my HVAC class. I know you do a lot of training, but I don't. Maynard Service Company isn't that way. They keep you informed. The communication is high. The communication is friendly, and they'll make sure you're aware of everything that's going on and make sure that basically things are handled efficiently and cost efficiently as well. So give them a call. Have them check out your system. If you're going to be running your heater a lot in the cool months, you want to get it a little maintenance check before it all gets started. The number to call is 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993. Also visit them online at MaynorServices.com, MAYNOR Services.com. Earlier today, I caught up with Mike Glennon, former NC State quarterback, longtime NFL quarterback, for some insight into what Bryce Young is going through and a look ahead towards tomorrow's NC State-Wake Forest game. That conversation's coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Finally.
Yes, finally. There's an app for 99.9 The Fan.
Finally!
Listen to your favorite hosts, your teams, and live sports action.
Touchdown, Philadelphia! They are destroying the Chiefs!
And every podcast episode at your fingertips, anytime, anywhere. Available for Apple iPhone and Android phones. Download the 99.9 The Fan app today. Powered by Aspire Money Management.
Our state's future begins with our students. That's why the North Carolina Education Lottery has contributed over $12 billion to education. Through scholarships, school construction, support staff, and pre-K programs, lottery dollars move our state forward, helping students become the best versions of themselves. Visit movingncstudentsforward.com and share how your student or school community has benefited for a chance to earn $2,000 for your story. Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline 877-718-5543.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here for my friends at Buffalo Brothers. I travel coast to coast covering hockey. But when I'm back home, I head to my home away from home, Buffalo Brothers, for the best wings on the planet. You can't beat their specials at all 5 of their Triangle locations. Every pro football game day, you can get Miller Lite Draft for $4.50 and Blue Moon Draft for $5.50. Pet-friendly patio too. BuffBrothers.com. Aw, man. Now I want wings.
One last exhale.
Fitting, isn't it? The final shot at the Championship 4 comes down to a track that's been here from day one. Martinsville. Close quarters, tight corners, and a fan experience that brings you so close to the action, all of the mayhem will be right at your fingertips. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Martinsville Speedway, October 23rd through the 26th. Get your tickets now at martinsvillespeedway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan here for my friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. In just over 5 weeks with Raleigh Weight Loss Center, I'm down over 30 pounds. That's right, over 30 pounds lost thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center and their program. And here's the thing I love about the Raleigh Weight Loss Center program. Their goal is not just for you to reach a target weight. It's to reach the target weight, but also maintain that weight as well. You're not doing any injections, no shots, no HGH or steroids. It's just resetting and restarting your metabolism. That way you lose the weight in a natural way, but most importantly, keep that weight off. Visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com for your free consultation today. RaleighWeightLossCenter.com or give them a call, 919-897-7506. 919-897-7506 is the number to call, or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com, 919-897-7506. Get on that journey today. Results may vary.
Snap back to Morris, flushed out right, lofts it in. So intercepted! NC State picks it off in the end zone. There's an interception by Kean Sloan.
It's game time.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. We are joined with our weekly guest here, Mike Glennon, NC State legend, longtime NFL quarterback, where we will get his NC State takes and insight in a little bit, but we also use him as our personal window into what's it like to play quarterback in the NFL from somebody that did it for a long time. Mike, there's not a lot of optimism coming out of week one of the Carolina Panthers. And I think most of that is rooted in this. There were 10 teams last year that won 5 or less games in the NFL. 9 of them changed either their quarterback or their head coach or both. The one that didn't was the Carolina Panthers. They obviously kept Bryce Young. They kept Dave Canales. So going into this year, there was a hope that the stability would lead towards efficiency and maybe quickness of operation and avoiding some of the foolish mistakes that come with being in a new system or unfamiliarity. As somebody, I don't know if I've done the count recently, but you played in a bunch of different offenses during your NFL career, bouncing around different coaches, different coordinators. Second year in a system, same play caller, same playbook, same quarterback. How much easier should it be this year than last year to just get in and out of the huddle and know where to go with the ball and all of the things that we think about for quarterbacks?
Yeah, it only happened one time in my entire career where I had the same coordinator 2 years in a row. And, it's such a breath of fresh air going into the second offseason, not having to learn a whole new offense. And to me, that was the biggest kind of concern was Bryce showed strides at the end of last year, and it looked like it was all coming together. And then you watch this game, and it felt like deja vu to week one last year when they played the Saints, and he had multiple turnovers and just didn't look like he belonged. Like, he just has they got to find a way to get him playing like he did at the end of last year, because if he continues on that trajectory, I don't know how long he'll continue to be the Panthers quarterback.
Everybody talks about the windows getting smaller in the NFL and the game getting faster. I'm one of my kind of crusades here is we have to get back to a little bit of common sense where, say the defense, whatever the defense is in, right? The defense is supposed to tell you where to throw the ball. If the defense they're playing says throw it to Xavier Legette, but you're looking at Xavier Legette and there's a defensive player crashing that looks like they're in better position, is it that difficult to maybe override your rules that say against this coverage I throw it to this guy? Because there's quite a bit of discourse about good decision, the ball was intercepted, and I'm going there's no such thing as a good decision unless it's a tip or something like that where the ball is intercepted. Is it our quarterback's becoming too machine almost, where it's at a certain point, if you see a guy, just don't throw it to the guy if he's wearing the other color jersey.
Yeah, I mean, I was probably guilty of that. I would be over analytical and be like, well, it's cover 2, so he should be open.
Exactly.
And it's that's not always the case. But when I watching Bryce, the whole conversation of seeing the field and too short and all that, some guys are short and it seems like they see the field fine. He feels like he's got to play on his tippy toes, similar to Drew Brees. Drew Brees felt like he played on his tippy toes, but obviously Drew Brees did an unbelievable job going with the ball to the right place. When you watch Bryce, it does feel like that height does play a role in his game. So he seems probably like he might be an analytical guy. I mean, he does seem like a guy that works hard. I'm sure he understands the offense, watches film. So I don't think that's the issue. Sometimes you got to go out there and just play ball. It's there'd be some points where I feel like I need to watch less film and just go out and play ball and not overthink things.
I call that a healthy amount of bleep it. You need a healthy amount of, I'm just this guy's open, I'm gonna throw it there. It's a different beast. We're talking with Mike Glennon here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. This goes back to a conversation we had preseason when there were rumors of an Adam Thielen trade, and it was about what that would do for roles in the wide receiver room. Tetairoa McMillan looked good. Made some plays, had some plays called back for penalty, had one catch that was a DPI and they accepted the penalty, so it wouldn't count. If basically produced about 110 yards of offense in receiving the ball, and finished with whatever it was, 70 yards, something like that in actual yardage realized. But can he be the number one and the security blanket in this offense? Because the rest of the wide receiving core left a little to be desired.
One, he has to be. I don't think there's a choice because right now, I mean, Hunter Renfrow, they cut 2 weeks ago. Xavier Legette, I just don't see him becoming that guy. So he doesn't have a choice but he can be. I mean, when you have that big X receiver, that gives you a lot of peace of mind that I can throw it up to him on the sideline, and at worst, it's an incompletion. His skill set allows for that to be a security blanket for Bryce Young, and like I said, he's just going to have to be because they don't have anyone else.
Is it lazy to just compare him to your former teammate Mike Evans? It's almost like Hunter Renfrow is going to be from Wes Welker for obvious reasons. Is it similarly lazy to say Tetairoa McMillan can be a Mike Evans?
Ironically, from watching him at Arizona, he reminded me more of Vincent Jackson, who was ironically my teammate, than Mike Evans. I think Mike and Vince were similar players, but just the way they move, T-Mac kind of reminds me more of Vincent than he does Mike. Both big guys.
Both really, they'd be huge compliments if you're being comped to either of those guys.
So that was my comp kind of coming out of college for him was Vincent Jackson. So that's who he reminds me of.
After a game like that, is there a proper might not be the right word, but I'm going to use it. Is there a proper vibe? Like, who's responsible for lighting a fire under a team like that underperforms in week one?
I mean, I think it's got to come from the head coach to the quarterback. It's got to come from those two guys that this wasn't good enough. I mean, we talked about it a couple weeks ago. Whether that's Dave Canales' personality or not, the tone's got to be different than it was a week ago. And you can still be, upbeat and complimentary, but there's got to be a little bit more urgency going into to week two. I always think after week one, it's like half the league is in the exact same position we are. Half the league is 1-0, the other half is 0-1. So we're not that far behind the 8 ball. We get to 0-2, things start, looking a little bit different, feeling a little bit different, and so on and so forth. So this is a big week for the Panthers to kind of get back on the right track.
Yeah, Detroit Lions, Baltimore Ravens, Carolina Panthers, right? It's like they're all 0-1. It's maybe ridiculous. Just drew a laugh there, just saying it, but it is technically true. Looking at NC State, your alma mater, C.J. Bailey, their quarterback, sophomore year, I think there was an improvement from week 1 to week 2, and that's a great sign. But kind of to mix our two, the two insights that you bring to our show here on The Drive, is C.J. Bailey an NFL quarterback?
I think he is. He's got the skill set to throw the ball. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's accurate. He makes good decisions. He's got enough arm strength. I don't think it's not Josh Allen or any of those guys. So he checks those boxes, and then he's a good athlete. So he's got all the tools. I don't know if he's considered rare at any of them, but when you blend them all together, he absolutely, I expect him to play on Sundays eventually.
Put on your quarterback coach hat. What's or actually put on your NFL scout hat. If there's one thing you want to see from him, because obviously he's not eligible for the draft for a while. If there's one thing you want to see him develop, what is it?
I think it's to be consistent. Every play treated for itself. I think he has a tendency. He can be a little streaky. Last week against Virginia, consistent as can be. The other thing is he's got to improve a little bit on his pocket movement, be a little stronger, sturdier, play with a good base in the pocket. And when he plays, when his footwork is good, he delivers an accurate ball. And sometimes when his footwork is bad, he still delivers an accurate ball, which is you need that quality too. But you want to clean it up and be as consistent as possible.
It's a gift and a curse to be able to have maybe not great fundamentals and still throw a good ball, because then you do it more often. But it's also when you're forced to do it,
you need to do it. Sometimes you're not going to be able to step in the throw, and that's when it's good. But when you have a clean pocket and you deliver a bad ball because your footwork isn't good, then it becomes an issue.
Last week we asked you, if blank happens, then State will cover the 2.5 and beat UVA. Your answer was if they're able to run the ball and open up holes in the running game. 150 yards from Hollywood Smothers later, and a cover and a win for NC State. So we'll throw it the same thing to you. Thursday game against Wake Forest. If blank happens, then NC State wins. The line's up to 7.5, so they got to win by a bit more. But if blank happens, State wins and they cover the 7.5.
I think on the defense side of the ball, if they can limit Wake Forest from explosive runs, then they'll win this game. They got a real speedy guy in Damon Claiborne at running back. Their quarterback is a runner as well. If they can, limit them, I'm not expecting them to say 0 explosive runs, But let's say less than 2 to 3 explosive runs, then I think NC State wins this game.
Once again, that is Mike Glennon, NC State quarterback and longtime NFL quarterback, joining us here in studio earlier today. There you go. That's what you got to do. Got to stop the explosive runs. He was right last week. We'll see if it keeps it up this week. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Also, I'll tell you what time it is. It's time to talk about Bailey's Fine Jewelry, specifically the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop, right? You got to tell time, see what I did there. No matter what you're into, right? If you're listening to the show, you're probably a sports fan of some kind. Let's say you're a golfer. Oh, precision, right? Performance, patience. How about an Omega? Something like a Aquaterra, right? The gentleman's watch, on or off the course. Or a Rolex Datejust, right? Pre-owned or vintage Rolex. The largest selection in the state of North Carolina at Fox and Bailey Watch Shop inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location. Maybe you're into something like scuba diving or fishing, or you like going to the beach, right? You're over there in the North Carolina beaches. Well, how about you get a dive watch? Maybe a Blancpain 50 Fathoms, the granddaddy of all modern dive watches. There's really an unlimited amount of variations of the statement you can make on your wrist with your watch. Luxury watches, durable watches, classy dress watches. There's all you could imagine at the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location. Make sure you let them know you heard about it from me, Tim, right here on 99.9 The Fan. And make sure you're tuned in next hour because we will have another keyword in our Sin City Skateaway and the starting five coming up next.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
The Green Bay Packers, in my opinion, are right there with the Philadelphia Eagles as far as the NFC when we're talking Super Bowl contenders, and they better get this done. You add Micah Parsons to this defense that's already a formidable unit, you take a step forward. The expectations are raised for your organization.
Unsportsmanlike. Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
This is Gordon Miller from Miller Lending in Cary. Over the years, I'm often asked why we made the choice to become one of the only mortgage companies in the state to provide loans without closing costs as a primary source of funding. And my response is always the same. How did closing costs ever become a thing? Who was that first person who asked for a lower rate, heard it would cost $15,000 to save $50 a month, smiled and said, "That'd be great"? Recently, we're noticing a trend of large national lenders quoting low rates but with a high APR. This is the definition of what happened when that first person asked for a lower rate but ignored how much it would cost. Quotes today are a two-part process. It's not just the rate, but what are the closing costs? At Miller Lending, we simply don't believe you'll keep your loan long enough to realize additional savings. So before you throw away thousands of dollars in needless fees, pick up the phone and call Miller Lending today. 919-447-3377, or simply apply online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender and MLS number 250-2146.
It's bow time. Fumbling the food on game day? Rookie move. But you know Bo can make your tailgate a winner, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Because the Carolina Legend has everything you're craving. We're talking crispy, juicy chicken loaded with real Southern flavor, fluffy, scratch-made buttermilk biscuits, and all the fixins to feed your whole crew faster than you could say touchdown. Be the MVP this season and let Bojangles do the cooking. Order your tailgate today. It's bow time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's Tailgate Special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles Tailgate Special, and go. It's bow time.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And you know, we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a Go-See. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Kat Campbell. Cloudy skies continue with a chance for some patchy light rain or drizzle. 63 the low overnight. Thursday, it's mostly cloudy with some drizzle possible early in the day. Breaks in the clouds expected later on with high temperatures back in the lower 80s.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones at the closing bell today, down 220 points to 45,490. Market update brought to you by Allen Tate. Ready to sell your home? Trust the #1 real estate company in the Carolinas, Howard Hanna Allen Tate. Let them show you a real estate experience that is different from all others. This hour of The Drive is brought to you by Bet365. When it comes to sportsbook, Bet365 has it all. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Should we give the keyword to start the hour?
Let's do it.
Let's give everybody the most time possible to get the keyword texted in for the Sin City Skateaway. The way this works, hopefully you've been listening, hopefully you've been sending in the keyword, but if not, still plenty of time. Once per hour from noon to 6, Monday through Friday this week and Monday through Friday next week, you can earn an entry into the Sin City Skateaway. Now you may say, Tim, the Sin City Skateaway, what do I get if I win the Sin City Skateaway? I can tell you. You'll win a pair of tickets to see Carolina play Vegas at T-Mobile Arena in Vegas. We're talking hockey on October 20th. You may say, Tim, how do I get there? Well, you also win round-trip airfare for 2. You may say, well, Tim, where do I stay? Well, you also get 3 nights stay at Park MGM Resort and Casino. You may say, Tim, but what if I'm hungry? You also get $400 in food credits. It's everything covered. We've thought of it all. All you have to do is listen, and once an hour to 99.9 The Fan when you hear the keyword from noon to 6, weekdays. Text it in before the start of the next hour. That's it. Don't miss your shot at the ultimate hockey getaway, brought to you by Park MGM Las Vegas, Atlantic Spas and Billiards, Hot Tub and Sauna Expo, Buffalo Brothers, and Newcomb and Company. And listen carefully for today's keyword, or this hour's keyword, the final one of the day. You'll hear why I say that in a second. The keyword, puck. P-U-C-K. Listen carefully.
Yeah, listen very carefully.
Puck. P-U-C-K. Like you're going to drop the puck.
Puck's on net.
There you go. There's a lot of phrases in hockey we could use that have the word puck in it. The keyword, puck. P-U-C-K. Text it right now to 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. Text it in, and you will gain this hour's entry into the Sin City Skateaway. You have until 6 o'clock, but don't wait if you don't have to. Text it in now. Get it done. And then also listen in tomorrow starting at noon for 6 more keywords, 1 per hour starting at noon. There's the Sin City Skateaway keyword for the hour. I'll remind you of it at least one more time before the end of the hour. Right now, it's starting 5 time.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So one of the, I don't know if everybody else consumes sports podcast at the rate that I do. By the way, everybody out there, the Sin City Skateaway, you text in the keyword. You don't call. Text. I don't know what. Dennis just answered the phone and I see the phone lines going off. Did they just call in and go like, puck?
It has happened before.
You have to text it in. Sorry. I just find it funny. Going back to what I was saying, I don't know if everybody consumes like sports podcasts or sports interviews, long form interviews like I do, but one of the go-to questions is you find a college sports star from 10 years ago or further back, and you go, how much money would you have made in NIL? And then they go, oh, a lot. Oh, I would have done this. I would have done that. These kids today, I think they might be underselling themselves. On3 put together a list of many of the highest paid wide receivers in college football. Jeremiah Smith, stud wide receiver for Ohio State, making between $4 and $5 million this year, according to On3 sources. $4 and $5 million for one wide receiver. Let me see if I can find some ACC wide receivers to pass along to you. Chris Bell from Louisville, fast wide receiver. $600,000 this year, according to On3 sources. The craziest part to me is not even like the high-end guys. It's the second and third highest paid wide receivers at some of these positions or some of these schools, right? You look at Auburn, Eric Singleton, and Cam Coleman are both making $1 million. Ohio State, Jeremiah Smith making between 4 and 5. Carnell Tate making 1.5. Alabama, we mentioned Ryan Williams. Ryan Williams making $1.8 million. And then you scroll down in the list. Now I have to find it. Where did it just go? Where'd it go? Isaiah Horton, the Miami transfer, $700,000. There are teams where the wide receiver room has multiple millionaires. Just the wide receivers. That's what you're up against, defensive backs. That's what you're trying to stop. The best wide receiver rooms money can buy. Dennis, your guy, Matt Rule, he's dealing out $800K for Dane Key. Dane Key is his name. One of the wide receivers. At the end of the day, he found a lot of money for Dane Key, according to On3 sources.
You know what? We pointed it out back in week 1 of college football season. More people are watching.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying it's impressive.
But just the whole narrative of, well, this has ruined college sports and all that kind of stuff. It's changed the college sports that we knew for decades. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean we're not watching it.
No, actually, you might argue it gives you more free reign to complain, right? There's a point in time in college sports where when you were when the fans, I say you, speaking to one of them, when the fans would light up a college athlete, I'm like, come on, man, he's just had a math test. But if you're making $3 million and you drop a pass, you probably do deserve a little bit more criticism. So fans, you get to be a little bit more professional with your college teams. That's number 5. Let's hit number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4 all together.
Lopez in the pistol with Hood behind him. He will hand to him. Hood right side, slithers through and powers home. Touchdown, Carolina. What a start for Belichick in the heel.
Bill Belichick spoke to the media, updating everybody how things are going, right? Updating everybody on how the first 2 weeks have gone. And we have some of that audio for you, including Bill Belichick talking about the support he's been getting from the higher-ups within the University of North Carolina.
Can't say enough about Chancellor Roberts and the support he's given and the backing for the program in many, many ways. He's been great, and I've really enjoyed working with him. Chris McClure also in the office, and many of Chancellor Roberts' staff who have been very helpful in the process. So, again, it's a new era of college football. There are a lot of new things that we're dealing with, and there are also some changes at Carolina in general, from what I understand, in many things, from the game day presentation to obviously the revenue, NIL, and so forth. So we're kind of working our way through those, but he's been very helpful, supportive, and great all the way. I mean, I couldn't ask for anything more from him.
Well, yeah. I don't want to make this out to be absolutely nothing, but they gave him basically a 3-year guaranteed contract. They I mean, even if they're not internally want to be you're all in, you're pot committed. They are all in on Bill Belichick. Through 2 games, I don't think anybody says, like, this is how they hoped it would go. But you have to have confidence. You have to trust your evaluations when you hired him. You have to trust your instincts and say, even if it's starting slow, he's the guy to get the program where it should be. Changing your mind now does nothing. So support him. Give him what he needs. The only other option is to have him fail, and then you fail also. Let's look at some of the decisions they have to make on offense. Bill Belichick, let's go to the running back rotation clip. There's been a lot of different guys getting carries out of that backfield for UNC. Belichick says they're still figuring out that rotation.
Sometimes there are players that have similar levels of ability, but maybe different skills. When I had Kevin Falk and James White, those guys were very, very good third down backs. Some of them probably the best that have ever played. And so we use them in that role, and we use other players on early downs. So it just kind of depends on, what you have and how it fits into your offensive system.
Gosh, it'd be really nice, because here's the thing with running backs.
Mm-hmm.
I do think you need to get him into a rhythm. I think there's a lot of carries that are 2-3 yard carries, no matter who the running back is, and you kind of got to work your way through those to get to the bigger carries, to get to the explosives. And if you're getting 5 carries a game, it's like you don't even really get started. If you're trying to get 4 or 5 guys into a rotation, it's tough. I understand we're not in the bell cow era of running backs anymore. Like, nobody's getting Emmitt Smith 1993 numbers.
Not really, no.
But 15 carries for somebody so they can kind of get their chance to land some body blows and get going. Part of me just says, like, pick one, right? Pick one until that one's obviously not working out, and then go to the next rather than trying to, like, feel your way through it. But, who am I to tell Belichick how to run a running back room?
I saw, was it Damon June had some really explosive runs. Like, he was just straightforward, just hit the line with full speed. I saw him get a few carries in the game. I'm like, oh wait, who's this guy?
Which
he definitely popped for sure.
Which I don't believe he had any carries against TCU.
I don't think he did. No.
So again, they're figuring it out. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of people were high on Davion Goss. At one point in time, he was one of the 2 or 3 betting favorites to lead the ACC in rushing yards this offseason. I think that's probably a ship that has sailed. Caleb Hood is another guy that has done some good things. Ran for the touchdown on the opener against TCU. There's stuff to be sorted out in that particular room. That's number 4. Let's hit number 3.
Young in the pocket, steps up, has room to run. He's got the 40, 45, 35 stumbling. Ball came out at the end.
He fumbled.
Jacksonville recovered the fumble. Man, it's been a tough first half for Bryce Young.
That fumble, or that forced fumble, I should say, by Bryce Young, did earn that Jacksonville linebacker AFC Defensive Player of the Week.
Yeah, he had the interception as well, the first one.
There you go.
Heck of a day for him.
Heck of a day for him. It's not great, and I remember having this thought last year where it's seemingly like every week somebody from the other team is getting a Conference Player of the Week. When you're often the one in the highlights during Conference Player of the Week tweets, that's usually not a good thing. Update from the Panthers for today. They did have practice today. There were a few guys practicing in limited fashion. Only one, I believe, that we were wondering about. Like, obviously, Jalen Coker's on IR. He's off to the side. Turk Wharton with the hamstring. He was held out of practice. Other than that, a lot of guys at least got in a limited practice. Ike Ekwonu, their starting left tackle, with the appendectomy that he had, 3.5 weeks ago. He practiced in a limited fashion. Outside linebacker Patrick Jones practiced in a limited fashion with the ankle. And wide receiver Hunter Renfrow with ribs was also listed as limited. But, I mean, that's about as healthy as you can be, right? Especially if Icky comes back. I wonder, Dennis, hear me out on this. We talked a lot about how important it is that Icky's back. With Turk Wharton, maybe a little hurt. Patrick Jones, maybe a little hurt. Is that forcing the issue? We're going to see the young guys on the defensive front?
Well, one of the guys that did not dress was Cam Jackson, the rookie 5th-rounder out of Florida. So Turk Wharton, Dave Canales said a couple days ago, is probably 2 to 4 week injury. But guess what, Cam Jackson, you're in the rotation now. And, yeah, Nick Scorton, you're probably going to get a few more snaps, hopefully. Princely Umamielen, please play more than 8 snaps this upcoming game.
That's the 2nd, 3rd, and 6th round draft picks from this past draft. 4th? Cam Jackson was a 4th?
5th.
Oh, 5th. Why am I thinking 6th? Oh, it was Jimmy Horn Jr. was the 6th. 5th, 6th, day 3 pick.
Yeah.
Still, that's a considerable amount of their draft capital that just didn't really. I mean, Cam Jackson wasn't even active. The other 2 barely saw the field. That's a considerable amount of your draft capital just not getting production really in week 1.
I think Mitchell Evans played about 18 or 19 snaps on offense.
Tight end, another rookie draft pick.
Imagine that. The defensive guys. Trend.
But maybe some injuries, some limited practices and things will force, in a way that Dave Canales could not force his defensive coaching staff to play the youngsters, even though he said he was pushing for it. Maybe the injuries will force the defensive coaching staff to play their young guys and see if they don't have some of that dynamic ability that was severely missing from everybody not named J.C. Horn on Sunday. Which, by the way, we haven't talked about it enough. I want to take a minute or two here. J.C. Horn's interception was bananas. That amount of athleticism, ball skills, making the catch, getting the turnover. I had, on air, challenged J.C. Horn to get his hands on the ball more this season, right? He'd been one of the best cover guys in the league. The advanced analytics love him when he's healthy, low passer rating against, all those things. But the one thing he didn't do was he had been in the NFL for 3 years. Granted, it hurt for a decent amount of it, but he'd been in the NFL 3 years. He only had 3 interceptions. So I said, this year, get your hands on the ball. Day 1, he said, hands on the ball? I only need 1. I'm going to get my hand on the ball. Made an unreal catch, which, go back and watch it, right? The first 3 times you watch the replay, you're just going to be infatuated with watching his athleticism. Once you kind of get that and get a good grasp on it, watch it one more time. Look for Travis Hunter behind him. If that unbelievable play is not made, that might be a long touchdown run, which would turn Trevor Lawrence's day into a much different day, which would turn Travis Hunter into a sensation. That was a gigantic individual effort from J.C. Horn, and I don't want that to be completely lost in what was a cluster bleep of a day overall for the Panthers. J.C. Horn was pretty darn impressive. And I'm ashamed in myself it took until Wednesday for me to go on that little rant. Do it again this week, JC. Talk about it earlier next week. Anything you'd like to add about the I don't know if any other news came out of practice today for the Panthers?
No, that's really about it.
All right, that's number 3. Let's hit number 2.
Just the 2. 2nd and 11 at the Virginia 12. Snap left hashes, blitzes on. He's free. Bailey eludes it. Runs to the right. Has Green. No one there at the 10, and he scampers in. Bailey, touchdown, Packs on top.
Short week football. We got a Thursday. NC State at Wake Forest. If you're in somebody, I like to, I do dabble in the gambling world. It is what it is. It's legal. But I also like to try to parse information from it. NC State 7.5-point favorite over Wake. Touchdown and a hook. Opened at 7.5, still at 7.5. If you look at ESPN's matchup predictor, their analytics, ESPN analytics say NC State should win about 75% of the time. That would imply a larger spread. So it's one of those things where it's like, does ESPN, do the sports books think, or the bettors, the sharps out there think that this is going to be closer than maybe the eye test would say through 2 weeks? Do they know something about State going to Winston-Salem on a Thursday that could lead to this one being a maybe closer game than you'd think? Is it just the matchup? Is it just Wake Forest has a good running back and State didn't stop the run that well against UVA? I don't know. And also a good running quarterback in Robbie Ashford? I don't know. What I do know is first road game for NC State. Maybe they think the young quarterback, the sophomore CJ Bailey, who's played very, very well through games 1 and games 2, maybe won't be the same guy on the road. Who knows? All I'm doing is passing along a little information. The over-under has come down a decent amount. It opened at 56.5. It's down to 52.5. Defensive battle coming? At least maybe that's what the sharps are saying.
Maybe, or are they just anticipating that Wake Forest on a short week just won't do anything? I don't know. That's
there's always those. That's the thing about trying to get information. It's like, what are they trying to predict here? A defensive battle? Or it could be one team's going to score 50 and the other team's going to score 3. Like, there's a bunch of different ways to look at it. Got to look at it from all angles. Either way, it is a Thursday game. So 24 hours from right now, they'll be out there getting warmed up and things, getting ready for some football. It's the 7:30 start tomorrow. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's number 2. Let's hit number 1.
The 1! Florida looking to get it out. Forsling bounce it. Now it comes out in front. Holding shoot. He scores! Seth Jarvis with the turnover. And Carolina has tied it at 3.
We got, meaning we received, we were sent the Carolina Hurricanes training camp schedule.
Let's go.
1 week from today, players report, team meetings, the medical side of things, making sure everything is good to go, because a week from tomorrow, practice starts. A week from tomorrow, the Carolina Hurricanes will be on the ice getting ready to chase big and lofty dreams, big and lofty goals, big and shiny cups. That's what they're chasing. It is. And it's what every, I think, franchise aspires to be. It's really rewarding to know at this point in the year just that there is a base level of quality coming out of that locker room. Right? Think of, and you're not going to get it with the Carolina Panthers, at least not anytime soon. But think of what like a Chiefs have championships, which I know people will fight back on. Think of what like a Bills or a Ravens fan has right now. Week 1, they had MVP performances, they had high scoring, they had great plays, they had highlights, and as much as it was really exciting to watch Sunday Night Football, Bills and Ravens fans probably expected it. They're like, yeah, we're a really good team, we've been really good, we plan on being really good for a while. How luxurious is that? Well, Canes fans, you kind of have that. You had a team that made the Eastern Conference Finals last year and had the picks, the prospects, and the cap space to go add 2 of the bigger pieces of the offseason in Miller and Ehlers. Ehlers and Miller, whichever order you want to put them. Chronologically, skill-wise, you can order them however you want. There's reasons for optimism for the Carolina Hurricanes this year beyond even the reasons for optimism going into last year. And do you know what's crazier part about it? We don't know what they could even add in season, right? Each of the last couple of years, Jake Gensel, Mikko Rantanen, followed up by then Logan Stankoven. Guess which team still has cap space? Guess which team still has a fistful of first-round picks? Guess which team still has prospects that are probably ready to get a shot in the NHL, but there just might not be a spot for them? Carolina Hurricanes. Right, we did a segment earlier today, and I encourage you to go. You can look on our YouTube live stream. You can scroll back. You can go find it, right, about the reasons for optimism this year. Why this year better than last year? Why should you expect an Eastern Conference Finals team to crash through that glass ceiling and get over the hump this year? All of the things we said were true, right? We brought up the new players, new vibes, individual improvement. We talked about it. They still have the pieces to go make more moves if they want to at the deadline. Right, if a team out there that thinks that is going to be a contender ends up having the wheels fall off on them early, and who knows, maybe they have a really good second line center that they might be willing to part with. The Canes can go get that. It's one thing to have a very good roster. It's another thing to have a very good roster and very good minor league system and a bunch of picks and a bunch of cap space, because that means you can take your very good roster and continue to add to it as you see fit. So a week from tomorrow, when they're out there on the practice ice, I think that's going to be a very good team. I'm not saying that is going to be the same team that's on the ice when they go to the postseason, because they got some pieces. They can do some more. Or maybe it'll be so good, it'll be so awesome. Ehlers will complete the roster in such a way that they don't want to touch it, they don't want to mess with it, and they let it ride. Maybe that's the case, but it won't be because they didn't have the funds to swing big. It'll be because they chose not to, which is a good feeling. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on to grabbing some numbers game contestants, Dennis has something he'd like to tell you.
That's right, I do. Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. I know I've preached this before about taking care of your bike and it takes care of you. Well, last night I took for granted the weather last night and went to bed. Weather, everything looked good. Didn't cover the motorcycle last night. Sure enough, I wake up this morning. Bike was partially covered, with the carport and all that stuff, but it got a little misty out there. Bike got a little bit wet. So I'm out there early this morning cleaning my motorcycle, drying it off completely. And I made sure everything was in proper working order, and I did. And everything was in proper working order. So I tested everything out like, okay, good. Everything is okay. I dodged a bullet there, I guess you could say. That's the key thing for you, is always make sure you take care of your motorcycle. Don't get lackadaisical like I did, because you never know. You might have a malfunction with the bike when you're riding down the road. That spells disaster. But you can even still do everything right when it comes to properly taking care of your motorcycle and make sure everything's in proper working order. Accidents, unfortunately, do happen, and this is where Law Tigers steps in. If you're injured in a motorcycle accident, give Law Tigers a call at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, even before you contact the insurance company. Law Tigers, they're part of the motorcycle riding community. They know what your bike and gear are worth, but most importantly, they understand the dangers of the road, and that's why your case evaluation is always free, and you don't owe a dime until your case gets settled. So again, if you're injured in a motorcycle accident, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, needs numbers game contestants. We have Lumineers tickets to give away. They're coming to Coastal Credit Union Music Park on September 16th, but you have to win them. We need 2 contestants for the numbers game. Call in now, 919-860-5326. 919-860-5326. We need 2 contestants for the numbers game because it's coming up next.
Move your sports day forward.
Normally, you want to take back all the bad things you say about a team, but I want to pull back all the good things I said about the Panthers leading into Sunday's ugly fail in Jacksonville. Nothing got fixed in the offseason or in training camp. Defense can't stop the run. Offense remains erratic. Check those return policies, kids. Keep the tags on those uniforms you bought less than 30 days ago.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, getting you ready for kickoff with an offer you will not want to miss. New customers, bet $5, get $300 in bonus bets if you win that $5 bet. That's right. Pick something fun, easily winnable. Bet $5, unlock $300 worth of our money in bonus bets to use all across the world's greatest app. Build parlays, player props, whatever. The NFL is here. FanDuel.com/Adam Gold. That's FanDuel.com/Adam Gold. Download the FanDuel app. It's awesome. And have fun this season. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required.
Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Hey, Greater Triangle area, Chick-fil-A invites you to enjoy a 4-count chicken minis on us in the Chick-fil-A app. Join us this week, September 8th through 12th, to get your reward for 4-count chicken minis by downloading or signing into your Chick-fil-A app with location services on in the Greater Triangle area. Redeem when you order through the Chick-fil-A app at a participating Greater Triangle area Chick-fil-A restaurant from open to 10:30 a.m. Offer subject to availability. Rewards are single-use only. Limit 1 per person per Chick-fil-A One account. See further details in the app.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. The prize for today, tickets to see the Lumineers. Coastal Credit Union Music Park on September 16th. Inspiring our question for the day, we bring on both contestants. We ask them the same question. Dennis listens to the answers. He's our judge. He picks which one's his favorite. That person gets to go first. Inspiring our question for the day is the Sin City Skateaway. So, the key word for today is puck, or for this hour is puck, P-U-C-K. Text it into 919-860-5326 before the end of the hour to gain this hour's entry into the Sin City Skateaway. Free trip to Vegas, see hockey between Carolina and Vegas, a whole bunch of stuff. Dave and Fuquay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, the question for you to decide who goes first is, you win a free trip to Vegas, the plane just landed, what's the very first thing you're doing?
Getting recreational, or
Recreational, what was that? I couldn't quite hear you.
THE.
All right, there you go. Dennis, any follow-ups? All right. We're going to Jordan in Morrisville. Jordan, are you there? Jordan, can I hear you? Can you hear me, I should say? I'm getting the hold on 1 minute from the producer's room. Now can you hear me, Jordan? Bark twice. Bark twice if you're in Milwaukee.
Don't worry, Jordan. Stay where you are. I'm going to get you. Don't you worry.
All right.
It's a little air on my end.
Oh, it's all good. In the meantime, everybody, while we have this little hiatus, the Sin City Skateaway is trip to Vegas, tickets to see Carolina Vegas hockey, 3-night stay at the Park MGM Las Vegas, round trip airfare for two, $400 in food credits, and to get this hour's entry, text PUCK. That's the keyword, P-U-C-K, to 919-860-5326. Now I'm told we have Jordan, and he can hear us. Jordan, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Same question to you. You land in Vegas, you win a free trip, plane just landed, what's the first thing you're doing?
Dropping off stuff at the hotel, going to get a big burger to fuel up.
All right, so you got very practical from Jordan. Dennis, which answer are you rolling with, Dave or Jordan?
I'm all about practicality. You know, going to be enjoying Vegas. I might be up late because I might be going to casinos or whatever it might be. I got to fuel up. I'm going to go with Jordan on this one.
All right.
Get a nice big fat cheeseburger.
Jordan gets to go first. Dave, don't worry. You will have your chance. Just have to stay on hold there for a second. Jordan, you ready to pick a category?
Yes.
All right. The categories are NFL players that played for teams that don't exist anymore. NFL player, by the way, that could just be a team that moved locations as well. NFL, just like Madonna, they are born in Michigan, so players born in Michigan. NBA players with weird nicknames or NHL Hurricanes throughout history.
Let's go NBA weird nicknames.
All right. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
Nope.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Draymond Green, Golden State Warriors.
25.
Incorrect. TJ McConnell, Indiana Pacers.
12.
Incorrect. Draymond Green, Golden State Warriors.
33.
Incorrect. TJ McConnell, Indiana Pacers.
30.
Incorrect. Draymond Green, Golden State Warriors.
12.
Incorrect. TJ McConnell, Indiana Pacers.
5.
Rudy Gobert, Minnesota Timberwolves.
37.
Incorrect. Draymond Green, Golden State Warriors.
22.
Incorrect. TJ. You were getting closer to Draymond. You were getting closer. Draymond with the Warriors, 23 is the number we were looking for. McConnell with the Pacers, number 9. And Rudy Gobert with Minnesota, number 27. But you do have a chance. Ties go to whoever goes first, so stay on the line. We'll see if it holds up. For those of you playing at home, want to know the nicknames. Draymond Green, Dancing Bear. TJ McConnell, the Lunch Pail. Rudy Gobert, the Stifle Tower. Because he's defensive big and he's French. In case you couldn't put that together. All right, so there you go. That is Jordan. He is on the leader in the clubhouse with 0. We'll see if Dave can best that score. Dave, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
All right, the categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL players born in Michigan, just like Madonna. We have NFL players that played for teams that don't exist anymore. Could be a team that also changed locations. Or NHL Hurricanes throughout history.
Michigan players, NFL.
All right, all players born in Michigan. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. 1 pass if you need it. You need at least 1 for the win. Any questions before we get started?
Nope.
All right, your time will start and you hear the horn. Andre Rison, Atlanta Falcons.
80.
Correct. Muhsin Mohammed, Carolina Panthers.
84.
Incorrect. Brandon Graham, Philadelphia Eagles.
Pass.
Joe Staley, San Francisco 49ers.
76.
Incorrect. Muhsin Mohammed, Carolina Panthers.
82.
Incorrect. Brandon Graham, Philadelphia Eagles.
84.
Incorrect. Joe Staley, San Francisco 49ers.
78.
Well, you needed 1 to get the win, and you got exactly that with Andre Rison. 80.
Woo!
So congratulations. Get the Lumineers tickets. For those of you playing at home, the Muhsin Mohammed, 87. Brandon Graham, 54 or 55. Would have accepted either. Joe Staley, 74, the number we were looking for. But you didn't need any of them. You only needed 1 for the tickets. Congratulations again. Stay on the line. Dennis has some info he needs to grab from you.
I appreciate it.
All right, there you go. Lumineers tickets. They're coming to Coastal Credit Union Music Park on September 16th. And one more time, everybody, the key word for this hour, you have 21 and a half minutes to text it in. You have to text it in by 6. There's no way, like there's nothing I can do for you, right? If it's 6:05, you didn't get text in, you hit me up on Twitter or something, hey, can I get the keyword in? There's nothing I can do. It's automated. The 6 o'clock is a hard deadline for the Sin City Skateaway. So you have to text in this keyword before 6. The keyword is puck. P-U-C-K. That's this hour's keyword. Text it in to 919-860-5326. 919-860-5326. Keyword is puck. That'll get you today's final keyword. The next keyword will come during the Adam Gold Show at noon tomorrow. So make sure you're listening at noon, in the 1 o'clock hour, the 2 o'clock hour, and then all 3 hours, 3 to 6 of this show tomorrow as well. We'll continue to give away those keywords. By the way, the entire contest brought to you by Park MGM Las Vegas, Atlantic Spas and Billiards Hot Tub and Sauna Expo, Buffalo Brothers, and Newcomb & Company. It is a sweet prize, trip to Vegas, all the workings. You definitely want it. By the way, also, we have a new app, 99.9 The Fan app. It came out yesterday. I'm told that we have people that can see these sort of things. There are those of you out there already listening on it.
I know. Appreciate all
What's
of you.
up from Appland? We appreciate you all for downloading it. If you've done so, if you haven't yet, that's okay. Do it now. Go to the App Store, the Google Play Store, depending on what phone you have. Search 99.9 The Fan. You may have to scroll down a couple because it's such a new app. It may not be the first thing to pop up. Literally debuted yesterday. But download it. Rate us 5 stars. It is a sleek, streamlined app. There is, they trimmed all the fat. They did a really good job designing it, the people behind the scenes here at 99.9 The Fan. So if you're a State fan, or if you're a Duke fan, or a Carolina fan, or if you are a Panther fan, you can streamline almost your own feed to only be fed the content that is your neck of the woods, down right up your alley. Or you could consume it by show. If you're a big fan of this show, the Adam Gold Show, there's podcasts, there's live streams, there's so much. There's articles you can read. There's so much on there, but it's not overwhelming. Like I said, I didn't design it, so this is not me. I did very little work in the development of it, so this is not me, patting myself on the back. This is me patting everybody around here in the office on the back. They did a great job.
Another way to quickly access and download the app as well, if you just follow any of our social channels, just go to the links in the bio. You can easily download it. Even our YouTube descriptions, for the videos that we have, you can download it right there as well. Simple and easy access. Again, making it easy for the people out there.
And also, we have some app-only contests coming up.
Yes.
So there's a, again, it's super, you'll see it when you get there, super easy to navigate to, but there are contests and you can win stuff. We're going to have some that you can only win if you are on the app and registered. So you just got to make a profile for the app. Name, birthday, prove you're not a robot, whatever you got to do. So do that now. So when we have some giveaways coming up, you're already locked in. And again, 5 stars on all the app stores and everything. We'd appreciate it.
We have poll questions out there. For example, will the Panthers make it to the playoffs this year? Yes, no, maybe. Are you kidding me with this question?
You'll have to go answer to find out what the people think about that one.
I'm sure people can
when you vote, the results pop up. But yeah, you go vote. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox has more info for you.
That's right. Dennis Cox here for Loan Pronto. Folks, are you trapped in a high-rate mortgage, maybe watching your hard-earned money just vanish away every single month? Well, stop with that mess. Right now, Loan Pronto, they are delivering the lowest mortgage rates in 3 years. Loan Pronto's rate reduction home loan program is a streamlined, low-cost way to slash your house payments by hundreds of dollars a month. Lock in a fixed rate as low as 4.99% APR and close in as little as 2 weeks. No appraisal needed in most cases. And here's the kicker. You can skip your next 2 house payments entirely. Don't wait. Rates this low won't last. Call Loan Pronto now for your free, no obligation quote. Loan Pronto, it's amazing. Imagine this. Lower payments, more money in your pocket, and a fresh start with a better mortgage. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com to lock in your new low rate and skip those next 2 payments. Don't let high rates hold you back. 919-381-1760 or again, go visit loanpronto.com right now. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, plays a game, which is appropriate after the first 2 weeks of college football or the first week of NFL. It's very simple. Overreaction or real? Coming up next.
The road to college football's national championship runs through 99.9 The Fan. All the best teams, all the cool traditions, and all the touchdowns.
From the 9, snap, Bailey, handoff, Smothers breaks a tackle now at the 5, makes it cut up the middle, touchdown. Hollywood Smothers scores again. 34-31 Pack.
College football on The Fan is powered by Roofworks and Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford.
Where the party at tour is the biggest party of the year with Nelly. Featuring Ja Rule. Chingy and special guests. Live at Coastal Credit Union Music Park, Saturday, September 13th. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Part of the Mattress Warehouse concert series.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
Stay informed with The Rundown, the daily newsletter from High School OT that delivers high school sports news and insights straight to your inbox. Brought to you by High School OT and powered by our sponsors, First Carolina Bank and Smith Douglas Homes. Subscribe to The Rundown at highschoolot.com.
What? New scratch-offs are out? That means new chances to become a North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club member.
Yeah, in the Winners Club, I'll reinvent myself. I won't go by just plain Todd. I'll go by Toddrick. I'll get a gold jacket, play my saxophone again. I'll stop and smell the flowers, call my mom more.
Ugh, wrap it up, Todd.
It's Toddrick.
This month's scratch-offs pack over $78 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.76 to 4.98. Problem gambling helpline at 877-7
718-5543.
This hour of the drive is brought to you by Law Tigers. Injured in a motorcycle accident? Call Law Tigers at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you call your insurance company. Case evaluations are always free, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles. Law Tigers, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Maybe the hardest part about like this specific part of the calendar for sports is deciding what's real and what's not, right? Your best football player has a bad game in week 9 following 8 good games. Oh, that's weird. What a funny blip, right? That's bad luck it happened for a game. But if he has that same bad game week 1, you're like, oh no, does he stink? Did he fall off a cliff? Is it over for him? It's hard to know what's real and what's not when there's such a small sample size. So we thought we'd play a game of overreaction or real, which is a game we just made up. And basically Dennis will throw reactions to the first part of the season here at me, and I'll decide whether it's an overreaction or real.
All right,
and we'll
let's
do so
go
with cool music.
Yeah, some cool music in the bed. This one here, we'll go in. Let's go Carolina Panthers here real fast.
Let's do it.
Overreaction, proper reaction. Dave Canales will be fired after this season.
That's tough. First of all, I do like to preface anytime we talk about job security, often I will say this. This is not me hoping for, right? This is not, I don't like to say, hey, that person should, but it's more of a prediction of, I've watched the NFL, I've studied the NFL, and right, job security is one of those things that you can follow trends, right? Coaches don't get as long of a shot as they used to. Here's why I would say it's definitely not an overreaction. I don't know if it'll happen, but it's not an overreaction to think it will happen. When you are brought in for a specific purpose, and that's the part of the team that has been given the most resources and it's still not improving, it's tough. He was brought in because he's the quarterback saver, right? He was the quarterback rescuer. He was a part of the coaching staff that rehabilitated Geno Smith to top-level football, that took Baker Mayfield and turned him into a $100 million quarterback. And he was tasked with doing the same with Bryce Young, and then given all of the tools, right? They spent big on offensive line. They went and paid their running back. They drafted 2 first-round wide receivers. Like, they've given it all. And if he can't get Bryce Young to play better football, it's hard to think that the NFL or the powers that be won't put a good chunk of that blame on the head coach. So, for that reason, I don't think that's an overreaction.
All right, next one here. Overreaction, proper reaction, real reaction. Bryce Young will not be signed to a long-term extension after the season by the Carolina Panthers.
Real. And by the way, like, unless he played top level football, right? Unless he played essentially last 3 games of last year football, like, unless he played great, I wasn't signing him to an extension if I was Carolina at all. After this year, you have to decide on the 5th-year option.
Mm-hmm.
If he played, I would say, top half of the league football, you pick up his 5th-year option. If he doesn't, you just don't, right? And you probably find a new quarterback for next year. It would have to be like top 10 MVP for him to get a long-term extension based on what he's already put on film. And I don't think that's happening. So not an overreaction at all to think he's not getting an extension.
Okay, next one here. Overreaction or a real reaction? NC State will win 10 games this season.
Overreaction. 10, I mean, it's
starting off 2-0.
It's only happened.
Got a couple tough ones out of the way.
Only happened once in State's history, right? Yeah. Going back, definitely once this century, going back to 2002 with Phillip Rivers.
The 11-win season. That was the only time they've reached double digits.
They still have 3 ranked opponents on the schedule. They still have Duke on the schedule. Still have Pitt. Still have Georgia Tech on the schedule. Obviously, a game like Wake Forest on a Thursday, a game like UNC to end the year, those are more up for grabs just based on the rivalries. They won 2 games, but they were close. 10 is a lot. I do think, it's a good start. I think C.J. Bailey is showing some promise. I think the defense has a lot of work to do. I think 10 it's just an overreaction. It's too many.
Okay. All right. Let's go to North Carolina. UNC football head coach Bill Belichick will not coach UNC after this season. Overreaction, or is that real?
I think that's an overreaction. He's got 3 years of guaranteed money.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's there. And also, I don't think Bill Belichick is going to walk away on his own accord when things aren't going well, right? Unless he gives it a good old-fashioned try for a while and it's not working out. I don't see him, giving it 1 year. He's a grudge holder, right? He's stubborn. Part of the reason why he is who he is and why he is as successful as he is because he's a grudge holder and he's stubborn. So if it doesn't go well this year, and through 2 weeks, I would say it doesn't look like it's on the trajectory of going fantastically. I think he's going to give it another go. He's going to try to learn. He's going to try to get better. He's going to come back. So it's an overreaction to think he won't be back next year. How successful the program is, goodness gracious, program is. We're going to have to wait and see on that. But I think he'll be leading the way at least for another year.
All right, next one here. Let's actually go back to the Carolina Panthers.
Let's do it.
Overreaction or real reaction? Ejiro Evero, the defensive coordinator, will be fired at some point this season.
That's real. For a few reasons. Again, same qualifier that I'm not hoping for anyone to lose their job. It's your livelihood. Hopefully you get it. Evero is the changeable piece. If things go bad, people want to see change, right? Dave Canales isn't going to fire himself. Bryce Young, I mean, you could bench him for Andy Dalton, but I just don't see the logic behind that. What are you gaining? Maybe you win 1 or 2 more games. That you're not a contender with him based on what we've seen. The defensive coordinator is the guy that can change most with the least amount of collateral damage, right? You can promote from within. You can find someone else you like and kind of say, look, we're trying things. So I do think, and by the way, the defense didn't do great against the Jags, and they're gonna catch some other bad games along the way. And then also, Dave Canales didn't seem like he was fully on board with what Evero was doing with the whole, I was pushing for the young guys to play. Seemed like he was already kind of building that wedge between them. So there you go. Little overreaction or real to start the drive. To end the drive on 99.9 The Fan. But also, the season's just getting started. Deciding what's an overreaction and what's real could help you make some money. Tim Donnelly here for DraftKings Sportsbook. The NFL season is rolling. Every touchdown can bring you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. First touchdown scorers, anytime touchdown props, the thrill of live in-game betting. Every snap is loaded with opportunity. Talking about overreaction or real. Was Bill Krosky-Merritt scoring a touchdown and having 82 yards rushing for Washington in Week 1. 7th-round rookie. Was that real? Or is expecting him to do it again overreaction? If it's real, you might want to go place a bet on him as an anytime touchdown scorer. Plus 215 on the odds. Or plus 1,200 for first touchdown scorer. If you think he's really real, plus 1,700 to score multiple touchdowns for Washington on Thursday against Green Bay. That's just an option for you if you think it's real. If you think it's an overreaction, you probably don't want to bet those bets. You want to find some other touchdown score to go with. Lines and odds are subject to change, and new customers, I have something else that's pretty special for you. Bet just $5, get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus score over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV as well. Just use promo code TIMD at sign up. That's TIMD with no spaces to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet your first $5 and the $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday ticket/terms. Limited time offer. The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan coming to a close here. We have Overdrive coming up next. Dennis, what are we starting with on Overdrive?
We will start Overdrive with your good friend. Actually, Mike Glennon will be coming up a little bit later on, but we're actually going to talk a little bit Canes hockey.
Oh, Canes hockey. We are 1 week away from players reporting for training camp for the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah, they announced the schedule and all that today. I'm not going to lie. I can't wait to get out there and actually watch the guys skate.
That is obviously exciting. Also, for Canes fans out there, obviously, we are the home for Carolina Hurricanes hockey. You hear it right here. We're talking Storm Watch. We're talking the entire kit and caboodle, right? Download the app, 99.9 The Fan, for live streaming. That way, if you're near your radio, if you're not near your radio, you can always catch the Canes games once they are getting played, which is not that far into the future. And then to get ready for the season, maybe go to the Canes app or the Canes tab on the app. You can go to Canes Corner. You can get all the info you need for an offseason. 99.9 The Fan app. Download it now. 5 stars. Overdrive is coming up next. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody.
Finally.
Yes, finally. There's an app for 99.9 The Fan.
Finally!
Listen to your favorite hosts, your teams, and live sports action.
Touchdown, Philadelphia! They are destroying the Chiefs!
And every podcast episode at your fingertips, anytime, anywhere. Available for Apple iPhone and Android phones. Download the 99.9 The Fan app today. Powered by Aspire Money Management.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with